From Riverside Academy in Reserve, Louisiana, Crescent City Sports brings you high school football on a Friday night, as we've got a good one this evening, a matchup of unbeatens between the Newman Greenies and the Riverside Rebels. And hi again, everybody. Lenny Van Gilder, Wade Kaiser with you. Chip Merritt, our producer. Matt Merritt bringing you the pictures here this evening in this matchup of 4-0 teams. Newman is ranked number 5 in Class 2A. Riverside is ranked number 7 in Class 1A in the latest Crescent City Sports rankings. Wade, these are two good teams. We're going to spend a lot of time talking about two players in particular this evening, and that is Arch Manning of Newman and Gage Larvadan, the all-purpose everything guy for Riverside.
Well, the name Manning, obviously we all know that name from everybody in New Orleans, sports legends, and he's everything that he's built to be. We saw him first as a freshman last year, if you remember, and we came away after that football game last year, his freshman year, and we were astounded to where he was as a freshman and where he's obviously going to be at the end of his senior year. Recruiting by everybody in the country right now, been offered by a ton of people already, which we'll get into later tonight. I'm sure we'll give you those rundowns on those schools.
Yeah, he's a drop back guy,
right,
just like his uncles, just like for the most part his grandfather was. But
right,
that's what you're going to see. It's going to be just the opposite when you start watching number 3 in red tonight, Gage Larvadan.
Right. Well, there's Gage. Right. This cat comes in, the film that I've seen of him is he's like a multi-purpose Swiss Army knife. He can position. He can play quarterback, he can play running back, and he is a lockdown corner also from the standpoint of what he can do on the defense. And look for him tonight to be a major factor on that Riverside Rebel defense.
And oh, by the way, he's the starting point guard on their basketball team when football season is over.
By the way,
and he might be selling popcorn at halftime. I'm not sure, but he does a lot. There's no these are two teams that can both score a lot. Riverside is averaging 49.8 points a game than Riverside has. Riverside has really gotten into some high-scoring games. Newman has got a couple of shutouts on their record, and has done a little bit better job there. Now, how things play out this evening, clearly, this is going to be, the toughest test perhaps that both of these teams have faced thus far. So those numbers really don't necessarily indicate what we might see this evening.
Right, I think they're beautiful numbers, offensively average. And by the way, last night, a big shout-out to the Riverside Rebel Quarterback Club, which I had the honor of being the guest speaker there last night. They reminded me that it wasn't 48 or 49.7 points a game. It rounds up to 50.
It rounds up, yeah.
So I was quickly reminded of that last night by the Riverside Rebel Quarterback Club, which, again, I want to thank on behalf of Crescent City Sports for having me out and getting the chance to talk to those folks. What a wonderful job they do. But I think you can throw those numbers out the window tonight. I think it's fence.
Yeah, you got to get some stops. If this does turn into you look at the series history. First of all, it suggests a tight series, although there have been some streaks in this series because Newman's won the last 3. Before that, Riverside won 6 in a row, including twice in 2015, won the regular season meeting and won again in the playoffs. But the interesting thing is you look at these scores, and again, these are different teams, obviously, but the last 9 times they've met, the winning team has never scored less than 31 points. So that tells you right there that generally when these two teams get together, there's going to be some points on the board. In fact, the losing team in all those times has never scored less than 14 points. So
we're talking about, from the standpoint, we know that they can light up the scoreboard offensively. My money is where are they going to get that stop tonight? At what point of the game are they going to get the stop in defensively where somebody's going to have to rise up and make a play on the athletes that they have on the offensive side of the ball? I mean, Riverside's going to have to shut down some pretty good receivers, that Manning gets the ball to, and then Newman's going to have an answer for the multi-purpose Gage Larvadan from the standpoint of where is he lining up.
Right.
But don't be mistaken, with Riverside also from that standpoint, they have a solid running back in Elijah Davis, who had a great week last week, kind of broke out of his shell against Southern Lab. And then I think that Luke Hemel, the second quarterback that comes on the field for the Rebels, is the guy that can dish the ball around and get it into Larvidan's hands, and it be something that Newman's going to have to come up with an answer for.
We saw something similar 2 weeks ago with Jesuit, and using two quarterbacks, and then when the one quarterback is not in the game, he lines up at wide receiver with LaForge and La Riviere. So this is not something new. Look, you find a way to get your best athletes on the field at all times. So it's not to be unexpected here, and you're going to see a lot of Riverside guys play two ways as well, as you might expect with a 1A school with a smaller roster size, and a little bit less of that on the Newman side.
Well, it's pure high school football.
Yeah,
that's the great thing about small school football.
We get ready for our pregame ceremonies, including the national anthem. We're going to hear those cowbells on the home side tonight, Wade. Just get your ears ready for that one.
Made by the Greenies, number 46, Brandon McGowan, first down Rebel.
All right, welcome back here as we had a little technical difficulties there. As the third straight running play for Riverside to get things going. We've seen a steady dose of Elijah Davis thus far, Wade. 3 carries for about 19 yards, and they're going to play 2nd and 3 at the 40-yard line.
I think Elijah Davis is going to be the X factor tonight for Riverside. I mean, he's the guy that last week really came out of his shell against Southern Lab and had a great week. He's a hard downhill running back that doesn't shy away from contact. He's going to be a load for Newman to have to defend tonight, along with Gage Larvidan and Luke Hemel when he's in there at quarterback.
Larvidan operating out of the shotgun, with Davis alongside. Whistles before this one can get going. We'll see our first flag of the evening. Riverside is backing up. It's a false start, so they'll now go from 2nd and 3 to 2nd and 8.
2nd and 8 is a much more difficult call offensively than that 2nd and 3. 2nd and 3 sets you up to do a lot of things on that call sheet.
Right. Again, just underway here in reserve. Riverside took the opening kickoff. 1 first down already. Now operating 2nd down and 8, ball at the 35-yard line. Larvidan will give it away once again to Davis. Not as much running room this time. He'll get about 3. So 3rd down and 5.
Nice pursuit right there by the Greenie defense. On the tackle, looked like number 87, Will Randall, from his defensive end position, did a nice job keeping contained on the toss sweep.
See Randall play both ways this evening, defensive end along with tight end.
Big target for Manning. Loves to throw to his tight ends down the seam.
So 3rd and 5, and they will give it away again in a nice hole, but it's quickly filled. But, hey, give Elijah Davis a lot of credit there, Wade, for just plowing over Will Hardy and falling forward for the first down.
Well, there's your look at how physical he is. Watch him run downhill on this inside zone. They're going to get the check from the boundary. They're a big check with me team from the boundary. Coach Dyson's going to signal the play in. And look at the job he does with just a straight down, huge hole. I think I could have ran through that. Ducks his shoulder and picks up the first down.
Now Larvidan will keep it himself, and he is going to be brought down behind the line as that play closed up very quickly. Josh Keppel on the tackle behind the line of scrimmage. It's going to be a loss of about 3, and it's 2nd and long.
He took an inside route to the ball that time. Looked like they had a stun on inside, little slant. And Keppel does a nice job penetrating, and then he uses his speed right here. Watch him run, great angle. Watch him run him down right there, get a hold of the jersey, and sling him out of bounds. Keppel comes in with 20 tackles, 1 sack.
Another tackle for loss there, but that's 3 on the year now. Now on 2nd and 13, we get our first look at the other quarterback. He's got a man down the seam. 30, 20, 10, 5, touchdown. get our first look at Luke Hemel, and he immediately goes down the seam to Terrell Hilliard for 58 yards and a touchdown.
Terrell Hilliard wide open into that Newman zone, runs a post route, gets behind everybody, and Hemel puts the ball right on the numbers. Hemel has a nice arm. He comes in tonight with already 5 touchdowns. Add another to it. He's 6 on the season now.
So 6 plays, 79 yards on that opening drive. Took 4:14 off the clock. I'll shift it around here, and Hemel's going to kick the extra point here. And that is wide right, no good.
A lot of penetration through the A as well as the right C gap. Looked like anything in a white jersey was leaking through there that time. Got the ball, looked like it was tipped coming in from Hemel's right side.
Here's another look at the touchdown, Wade.
Started with great protection. Nice job right there. Hemel steps up, and you could see the post route by Hilliard, gets behind everybody, and then he turns on the jets, and nobody was catching him. These Riverside Rebels have some really nice speed at their receivers position. You know, not only, of course, when they put Larvin out there, but you'll see it out of Hilliard, a kid named Brumfield, a kid named Raynaud. They've got a whole slew of receivers that they can pick and plug into their offense that run quick routes, run nice routes. They have a way to get themselves open, and Hemel can put the ball on a dime like he did right there that time to Hilliard.
So Samaje McClendon handles the kickoff duties. And you've got twin safeties deep here for the Greenies. And that's A.J. Johnson to the near side. Tried a little pooch kick, but it ends up going out of bounds. So you've got options here, Wade. Right. You can take it, at the 35-yard line. In this case, the ball didn't reach the 35, so I guess you take it at the spot it went out of bounds, or you can have him re-kick.
You can have him re-kick, or you can take it at the where they're going to put it at the point of going out of bounds right there, and it looks like at about the 37-yard line.
That's what they'll do. We'll get our first look at the Greenie offense, led by the sophomore, Arch Manning. And we saw him a couple of times last year as a freshman. We get our first look at him here as a sophomore. Thus far this year, a 73% passer, 937 yards and 11 touchdowns. He's also run for 4 scores.
And he has some nice receivers to throw to, too. A.J. Johnson, Kai Donaldson, Pike Filbert, and he loves his tight end, Will Randall. Watch tonight to see the matchup between their leading receiver, A.J. Johnson, and the athlete that we've been talking about for Riverside all night long, Gage Larvin, since we've come on the air. Matched up one-on-one. You see him down here at the bottom of your screen. Number 3 in red, 2 in white.
It's actually 5 yards from the spot of the foul, since I guess it didn't cross the 35-yard line. And we've got a false start before Newman can get its first play going. So now they're going to operate 1st and 15 back at the 37-yard line. And now the cowbells are really up. Starkville in reserve, I guess. That's where you see him, right?
Starkville in reserve, absolutely, and at Oklahoma State.
Out of the pistol, Manning gives it away to Joseph Pleasant, the outstanding senior running back who will get the penalty yards back, maybe about another half yard. Yeah, make it a gain of 6 officially for number 6, and it's 2nd and 9 at the 43.
Inside zone with a lead up inside on the linebacker right there. Pleasant comes in tonight, 43 rushes, 218 yards. He's averaging 5.1 yards a carry. He's a solid running back.
First throw by Manning tonight is on the money, and it's going to be right at the sticks. The catch by Kai Donaldson, the sophomore. Let's see whether they will move the chains. It looks like they will. A gain of 9. on the pass from Manning to Donaldson.
A little off coverage on the top. Nelson Stewart likes to dish the ball around to his receivers and take what you give him. And they were playing off coverage up at the top of the screen right there on Kai Donaldson. So Manning looks over and, he's beyond his years. He's going to read the coverage. He's going to see what the defense is giving him, and he's going to take that 10-yard out right there for a first down.
From the Riverside 48, that is the other running back, Sterling Scott, on the carry down the sidelines and finally brought down inside the 20, down to about the 12-yard line. Actually, they're going to move it back a little bit, make it about the 14-yard line. So a big run there for Scott, who also will play some safety. A little counter look there and a big hole.
Well, a huge hole counter. They block down on the defensive end of Riverside, and they just wash him down inside and let the linebacker one-on-one with the guard pulling on him. The backside tackle who sealed up inside had nobody to block, and Sterling Scott was off to the races on the counter tray.
So Newman in the red zone for the first time from the 14. Give it away to Scott once again. Gets the edge and looks like he's right at the first down marker. We'll see where they spot it.
Riverside's got to get some support from their outside linebackers, got to come up and turn that in. If you look up at the top of your screen, you can see right there, he just gets blocked and pushed all the way back 10 yards from the line of scrimmage from Will Randall. Just
Will
decimated
Randall doing
him.
an outstanding job. It was short of the first down. It's going to be a gain of 9, 2nd and 1.
That was Hunter Champagne that he bodied up on out there at the outside linebacker position. Huge mismatch.
Give it away to the first guy, which is Pleasant, who's moving his legs, and I think he's finally got that forward momentum stopped at the 1-yard line. It'll be 1st and goal.
Riverside likes to line up in a base 3-4 defense. So that means that you're going to have to get outside support from your outside linebackers, strong safeties, outside linebackers immediately when that ball's going outside. And that's what they didn't have so far in this drive. They're having trouble at that position, getting the big tight end matched up on those outside linebackers, and it's becoming a mismatch. That's going to be after an adjustment they're going to have to get on the sidelines and make after this drive.
Call it the 2. It's 1st and goal. And it's Scott, and he's met in the backfield there. A nice job of penetration right there by Bobby Wells, the senior defensive lineman.
Bobby Wells penetrates right here in the A-gap. Watch. You can see on the left A-gap, the right A-gap right there, his left A-gap. He does a nice job getting in the backfield. He cuts off the block and stacks up the running back in the backfield. Nice play by Bobby Wells.
2nd and goal. Mostly runs so far, and they'll try to run it again with Scott, and he didn't get there.
That time, the outside linebacker, Hunter Champagne, sheds the block on the stretch play. He does a great job stacking that up. Take a look at it right here. Here's the outside stretch. Hunter Champagne right there does a nice job taking on the block, gets underneath the block. They just couldn't get him moved that time, and he makes the play along with a host of other red jerseys, get to the ball, and they bring up 3rd down and goal.
Yeah. Looks like he might have lost about a half yard there. It's maybe a yard and a half from the goal line as we tick towards the 4-minute mark.
Well, I think
what's been an entertaining first quarter.
I think it's time for play action right here.
Spread them out, make them cover. Manning not afraid to go with it, and he will into the end zone for a touchdown. Arch Manning with his 5th rushing touchdown of the year, and it's a tie game.
Everything's covered. He looks up. They were looking for the fade route to his left. Look up the top of the screen. I think they were looking for A.J. Johnson on the fade route. It's covered. What does he do? Tuck the ball and runs it in, as you said, for his 5th running touchdown of the season.
So this will be Neesett for the point after try. To give Newman the lead. Down, and it is good. And with 3:51 remaining in the first quarter, your new score, Newman 7 and Riverside 6. Wait, it gives us a chance to remind you, Crescent City Sports Prep Football is brought to you by Riverlands Insurance Services, who encourages you to make your insurance game plan today. Riverside, or Riverlands, is a proud recipient of the Top Insurance Workplace Award for 2019 from Insurance Business America. Call Riverlands at 1-800-336-4579 or go to riverlandsinsurance.com. Halftime, we had a chance last week to visit with our friend Nolan Luke, CEO of Riverlands. And considering what we've been through this week, we thought it was appropriate. We'll give you another listen to what Nolan had to say about a game plan and so many other things. And look, if you're not satisfied with maybe how your insurance company is treating you in the wake of Hurricane Zeta, give Riverlands a call.
Well, he might have a bunch of calls this week, not only from current customers, but customers in the future. You know, everybody thought Archie Manning would get that offense down to the goal line like that with his passing prowess, but it was that Newman running game that did a great job that time, getting them down inside the goal line and setting up their first score. That's kind of interesting.
That was a nine-play, 58-yard drive. Here's the return, and once again, the Newman coverage team does a nice job to keep this around the 20-yard line. We'll see where they spot forward progress, maybe out to about 21 or 22-yard line. But a good job here as you get to watch them fill those lanes.
Newman all in their lanes, a lot of white jerseys right there. Didn't get a lot of blocking from the guys from Riverside on that. Great job by the coverage team from the Newman Greenies.
Call it the 23-yard line to start this drive. And it's Larvindam once again at quarterback, but flags before we can get going here, and it's going to be against Newman, offside.
Ramjay Walters a little bit too quick right there. Jumps off sides, makes contact, just got into the neutral zone, and they're going to shut it down and move the ball up 5 yards for the Riverside Rebels.
Give it away to Davis, and that's going to be right at the sticks. We'll wait for the spot. They'll move them first down.
You're going to see Newman all night. They're going to sit in their 4-2-5. That's what they've always liked to sit in. 4 down linemen, 2 linebackers, 2 outside strong safeties, and a 3 deep secondary. They're going to have to do something up front to be able to get some penetration against that Riverside offensive line. Slant, stunt, do a few things different to try to get some penetration against the running game.
Larvindam will throw it on first down, and it's caught and room to run for David Raynaud, the senior. Little guy, 5'7", 145 pounds, but makes some guys miss, and the next thing you know, it's a gain of 19 yards and a first down.
Take what's there. You can look out and see that the number 2 receiver has nobody within 5 yards of him. So quarterback looks up. I'm sure they had some sort of automatic read on that where they automatically looked out to the uncovered receiver, got it out to him real quick, and off to the races was Raynaud.
From the 46 of Newman, we get our first look. I checked that. That was Davis. Still, I thought that was 2 and not 7 there. Davis on the carry. We'll get about 4 or 5 on first down here.
Well, again, they're pounding the ball. The running game seems to be what's working for the Rebels. Luke Hemel in now at quarterback. Also, number 7, Elijah Davis. He's the guy that loves to just pound that ball inside in between the tackles.
Seeing the slot there. Larvindam remains in the game at wide receiver when he's not at quarterback, and you got to watch him there as that pass is batted down. That was 87. That's Will Randall. We talked about him blocking. A little more blocking there. Batted down a pass.
Newman's going to have to do something on the number 2 receiver down here on the bottom. Just happened to be Gage Larvindam that time. Nobody covers them. They have to walk one of their linebackers out and get at least what we call some sort of touch inside the triangle on the number 2 receiver. Again, he's left uncovered. Nobody to cover the number 2 receiver down here. They've got a mismatch, 2-on-1 at the bottom. The farthest person away the closest person away is a linebacker, about 10 yards to his right-hand side. Let's see if Riverside picks up on this.
And they'll throw it out that way to Larvindam, and they'll close on him quickly. Couple of greenies there to meet him. That was Brandon McGowan, the linebacker, along with Will Hardy, the other linebacker, and it's going to be 4th down and about 3, and it's decision time here.
Well, the offensive coordinator, Kevin Dizer, who's also the head coach, saw the issue, and he runs a quick screen out here to the number 2 receiver. They needed to get the ball to him quicker.
Going quickly on 4th down, and that's a carry off the right side to Elijah Davis, and that's going to be a 1st down. They've given it already 8 times in the first 2 series to Davis, Wade. And, we talked coming in about how involved Larverdam was in this offense, but yet really Davis has been the bell cow thus far.
Well, I thought he was going to be the X factor coming in tonight, and so far he's lived up to that billing. A little lead option right there. Got the ball out to him quick on the option, and he was out and gone for the 1st down.
Stacked up right there in the middle that time. Davis gets about 1, and it's 2nd down and 9.
Davis is really familiar, and most of these kids are familiar with each other. You got to realize, Lenny, these guys have been playing against each other since they were in grade school. Both schools have grade schools, middle schools, and then the high schools. So a lot of their kids come up through their own feeder programs, playing elementary ball as well as middle school ball and then high school ball. More on that in a second.
Yeah, Riverside's trying to work with a little tempo if they can. At least they go no huddle here, and they'll look over, check with the sidelines, get the call. Trips to the bottom of your screen, you see Larverdam right there, right by the hash marks in the middle of those 3. Tried to go to the single receiver, and it was very nearly intercepted, and it's going to be 3rd and 9.
Back to what I was saying about the history between these schools. You talked about the history of them playing. These kids have been playing since they were in elementary school, so they know each other. And a running back like Davis has been running those same plays for Riverside since he was 6, 7, 8 years old against the Greeny defense. So these guys know each other well.
McGowan was the one that got the hand on that one. Just called his name a moment ago. Coming off the edge, ball is free. Offensive lineman is going to pick it up and fall on it at about the 35-yard line. That was Sidney Stibe, the center. Johnny on the spot to avoid the turnover, but now it's 4th and 9. You're kind of in no man's land right here, Wade.
Got a great look at the replay here coming off of the edge. And you can see the contact. He's going to get to the quarterback right there off of the quarterback's right edge. Great job. A little rip move underneath the pads of the right tackle, which was Colby Wilson, who got beat on the edge that time.
And that was Will Randall, again, whose name we have called several times already this evening, both on offense and defense. So on 4th and 9, Larverdam will scramble. We're going to keep it alive. Now he throws, middle of the field, caught. Room to run, 10, 5, touchdown. David Reynard, the little guy, takes that one across the middle and finds the corner of the end zone for the touchdown. And on 4th and 9, Riverside is back on the board.
Lenny, the first thing you tell quarterbacks is not to throw back against the grain when you're scrambling out to your right or left. What does this athlete do? Gage Larverdam goes against the rules, throws it back against the grain, hits a wide-open David Reynard, who takes it in for the touchdown. You definitely saw what type of athleticism Gage Larverdam has and what excitement he brings to this game of football.
All right. Ran another second off the clock there. There are 4 seconds remaining here in the first quarter. And you got Larverdam at quarterback right now. Alongside him is Davis for the 2-point conversion. Larverdam's going to keep it himself, and I don't think he got there. Nope, they said he did.
Well, somebody might have to go under a little tent to take a look at that one. Now, we just can't tell whether his knee touched the ground or not.
We've got replay. They don't.
It all depends on the angle. Depends on whether his knee came down or not before the ball broke the plane. Let's see what we've got.
Looks like he reached it across the goal line. It's the question of whether the knee hit first, but he did reach the ball. You can see the ball was right there on the goal line. Let's see if they're going to put time back on the clock here. They ran the clock on the 2-point conversion. Let's see if they're going to put time back up there. There should be 4 seconds remaining in the quarter. So, yeah, they're going back to this side of the field. So they're going to put time back on the clock as there were 4 seconds remaining. Yeah, now you see it.
Let's take a look at the touchdown again. Sets his feet, and he has to scramble to his left. He's a left-handed quarterback, and he throws back against the grain. Do not do that, Brett Favre. Do not do that.
Right.
What does he do?
Right.
This guy connects on a big play and touchdown, Rebels. Big connection to David Raynard. How athletic was that? So I only preach to my quarterbacks, only bad things can happen when you're throwing back against the grain. Only bad things can happen. Only bad things can happen.
So it's 14-7 Riverside. We've had 3 possessions and 3 touchdowns thus far. We thought this could be back and forth like arena football. So far, living up to it. This is Johnson on the return on what will be the last play of the first quarter, and he will get it out past the 40-yard line to about the 41, and that's where Arch Manning and company will start the second quarter. So that is the end of the first quarter. From reserve, stay with us. I got a feeling we got a lot more fireworks to come here this evening. Through 1, Riverside 14, Newman 7. You are watching high school football from Crescent City Sports. So here we go, quarter number 2, changing directions. Manning on first down, goes play action, avoids one, can't avoid another defender, and he is brought down by Martrell Henry, the 6'2", 270-pound 8th grader.
I like how you said that. Here's a good look at it. You're going to see pressure right there. They brought a blitz. Had freed the blitz up for the defensive end coming off the corner. Number 21, Nick Washington, who had a shot at him at first, slowed everything down and allowed the 8th grader, Martell Henry, 6'2", 270, to get to him and finally clean it up. 6'2", 270, 8th grader.
Little swing pass that isn't going very far to Scott. Might have gotten about a yard, and it's going to be third and very long here. As Larvadan, you're going to see him everywhere tonight, is in on the stop.
Larvadan does a nice job in his press coverage down here. Watch him come up and split the defenders. Splits it and makes a tackle. Not a good job by these 2 guys in white right there from Newman. Those guys got to do a better job if they want to be able to execute the screen game out on the flank. Riverside showing blitz right there, and then they walk out of it.
And I believe we're going to have offside against Riverside.
We've got a penalty. That was looked like like you said, offside. Looked like the adjustment Riverside has made with their defense since that last Newman drive is to bring more pressure off the edge, which has kind of worked so far, putting pressure on Manning.
So 3rd and 16 turns into a little more manageable 3rd and actually 10.
Riverside has actually jumped into their 4-man front, which shows they can bring pressure with their outside linebackers.
Line to make is the 48 of Riverside. Manning will throw, flag down in the backfield. It's caught for a first down to Kai Donaldson, but this is coming back for holding.
I absolutely think so. Look at the middle of your screen, the hold by the left tackle.
Oh.
I think that's in wrestling.
Yeah, that would be 2 points.
Or is it 3 point? 3 point takedown in wrestling. 2 or 3 points.
That was the left tackle, Ben Bordelon, getting called for the hold there, and that's going to Again, it's if you don't watch much, it's 10 yards from the spot of the foul in high school football, not 10 from the line of scrimmage. This is a 16-yard penalty. So it's now 3rd and 26.
3rd and 26 on your call sheet is like, what do you call? Screen, draw, something like that, or a quick trap to get something of it back. Got to get half of it back, something of it back, a big chunk of it back.
Manning will step up, throws, and that is going to be ruled a catch, I believe. Or did they call it incomplete? Saw the official. They're going to call it incomplete. Okay, couldn't see. The official had to come in from basically back at the line of scrimmage. We'll get another look at it here, Wade.
This is what Manning does well. He can evade the rush, keep his eyes downfield, and all of a sudden now it becomes scramble drill for those receivers. You practice this every week, and I know Nelson Stewart does with his offense. Scramble drill. The guy that goes high stays high. The guy that's medium wants to come back to the quarterback. The guy that's low wants to break deep. Try to find yourself a spot on the field that you can get your jersey seen by the quarterback in the scramble drill to complete the ball. That was close, but it was out of bounds. Both sidelines just got a sideline warning, too. You know, everybody thinks on the scramble drill when they complete stuff like that it's a complete broken play and everybody's lucky if they complete the pass. That stuff's practice.
So it'll be 4th down and 26, and be the first time we have a possession that will end without a score here tonight. And the punting unit is on for Newman. This is Will Hardy handling the punting duties. Gets it away. A nice Newman roll as Laverdan got away from it there. And turns out to be a 46-yard punt. That could have been a lot better field position. Yeah, you got to get up and catch those.
I talked about that last night at the Riverside Quarterback Club as being one of the key plays in the game, and it's not so much as a punt return or a kickoff return, but it's just fielding the punt, making sure the ball doesn't hit the ground and roll. That's the reason why the receiver's got to know the distance of the punter from where the ball's being snapped, and he's also got to know that I have that hand I can put up and catch the ball. I do not want that ball to hit the ground unless it's some sort of complete shank.
Right. Riverside started at the 21 and 23 on their first two possessions and scored. Now Laverdan on a quarterback draw will try to get to this side here, trying to turn the corner, and he is brought down by Sterling Scott. We've seen him on offense. Now we're seeing him on defense at safety, brought down after about a gain of 8, and it's 2nd and 2.
Design quarterback draw right there. I mean, it's all set up for Laverdan to take off. He is scaring me with the way he's holding that ball there, Lenny. Got to tuck that thing away, and then he looks like he was almost horse-collared right there by Sterling Scott and brought to the ground. But you can see his athleticism once he decides to take off, and that was a design quarterback draw for him to take off.
Right. Scott, the Harvard commitment. He'll give it away on 2nd down. This is the other number 7 whose name we've called a lot tonight, and that's Elijah Davis out to midfield and a 1st down.
Elijah Diggs, 5'10", 200-pound sophomore. The Rebels have 2 nice young sophomore running backs in Diggs and Davis. And he does a nice job right there getting north and south, using his eyes, getting down the field, kind of bouncing outside, avoiding where all the penetration was for a nice pickup.
Davis now 10 carries, 57 yards. They'll play it from right at the 50. Little screen pass that is well defended, and once again it is Scott on the tackle as Raynaud is brought down for a loss.
Sterling Scott, the safety, 5'11", 180. 3 tackles coming into the game, a sack, a couple of interceptions. He did a nice job defending that quick screen out there, getting there and making a nice form tackle. Good look at it again right here.
Another look at it. Very nearly a lateral there, Wade, but it was right along the line of scrimmage, and Scott was right there to sniff it out. Now it's 2nd and 13, ball at the Riverside 47-yard line, back on their side of the 50. Laverdan will keep it makes one man miss, gets to the edge, 40, 35, will run out of bounds. A late flag comes in at the 30-yard line, and we'll see what that is all about.
Blocking the back or a hold down here right at about the 35-yard line, and our preliminary is a hold.
It is a hold. There's see Benny Jones giving the signal there.
Lead
see if we pick it up here. Yep.
Here's a lead option. He keeps it. Nice read. Let's see if we can see the hold down here at the bottom.
There you go, right there. It looks like, yep.
Right
number 11. That's Terrell Hilliard. Had a handful of jersey there on Jack Robert, one of the.
I'm gonna be totally honest with you. Where his hand placement was, I'd be kind of upset if I was a Riverside coach right now. His hands inside, you're gonna have a tendency to grab some jersey. It's when it slips outside and gets on the outside of those pads or around the back. I'm coming from the standpoint the defender's got to get off of that.
Well, that was a 23-yard run that turns into a 15-yard run and a 10-yard penalty because of the whole call. And for the first time tonight, Davis is sent backwards. And that was Ramaj Waiters, the sophomore defensive tackle. We are calling a lot of young names this evening.
He penetrates right through the A-gap. The center didn't get the block back. They pull the guard. Center's supposed to block back on Ramaj Waiters, and Waiters beats the pin block by the center and does a nice job putting the brakes on the Riverside running back for a huge loss.
So it's 3rd down and 11. The line to make is the Newman 40, and Laverdane's got to try and do it himself here, and he is going to be brought down short. Did the ball come out? Let's wait for a signal. Ball did come out. And I haven't seen a signal yet as to whose football it is. They're going to move it back to the 42 and say, no, his knee was, oh, wait, no. Newman's running off the field like it's their football. I still haven't seen an official point that it's Newman's ball. Now they will.
The issue I had with that is I didn't see a beanbag come out, which should have been what you should have gotten from an official the minute that there was a ball out on the ground.
Right about here, you're going to see it come out, and it is covered up. It's actually covered up at about the 40-yard line, but they moved it back to the 42. And Newman with 6:37 will take over, down by 1 score.
We've got a offsides by Riverside right there. That looked like that was number 55, Bobby Wells, the nose tackle. Makes penetration with the center, and it's going to be 1st and 5. Back to the fumble for a second. What you should have seen from one of the officials is a beanbag come out the minute they saw the ball out on the ground. That identifies that there is a loose ball, but we didn't see that until the white hat came in and pointed and gave it to Newman. I'd have been a little irritated.
Manning fires complete. There's a flag down. There's a lot of extracurriculars there, right there at the line of scrimmage. It looks like as it came from the umpire.
Well, in that area, you're going to probably have a holding call.
I believe that was Johnson on the catch. And it is holding against Newman.
Let's see if we can see the replay over the center and the nose guard right there. Oh, my goodness. It was the blitzing linebacker that it looked like they picked up, but I still didn't see the hold.
That was actually Charbonnet on the catch, and what got called back. It's going to be 13 yards on the penalty, so it's now going to be 1st down and 18 at the 34-yard line.
This is the situation where Riverside's defense, if they want to come up with a big play, would be the time to dial it up. Something of that nature to be able to give them this great field position. Obviously, first in a decade like this for Newman, this call on a call sheet is something that is hard to dial up from their standpoint. They want to try to get themselves in a position where they can at least get the sticks on 3rd down.
Timeout is called with 5:50 remaining here in the first quarter. It gives us a chance to remind you the Crescent City Sports Prep Football brought to you by Louisiana Dental Center, your dental home team with 19 locations throughout Southeast Louisiana. We'll see you today. Go to ladentalcenter.com to find out more. By the way, we should remind you we got more high school football here for you on Crescent City Sports. Coming up tomorrow, game that got moved time and location. Got part of the issues with power and Hurricane Zeta. Catholic League matchup, Holy Cross and Archbishop Rummel. 1 o'clock kickoff now. Was originally scheduled for 7 now. 1 o'clock kickoff, and it's going to be at John L. Guidry Stadium, Manning Field in Thibodaux. If we haven't said the Manning name enough tonight.
Right, I think it's Rummel's homecoming all the way at in Thibodaux and Nicholls State. Well, thank you to Nicholls State for lending their facilities out and being a big-time savior for high school football in the area with all these power outages.
Manning calls his own number on 1st and 18 and got about half of it, if not some more. See where they spot the football. Looks like out past the 46-yard line. They'll put it down at the 47, a gain of 13. So now it's 2nd and 5. Got all the penalty yardage back from the hold.
Design quarterback run is dialed up by Nelson Stewart for his big quarterback to be able to pick up a huge chunk of that. Now it puts him in a manageable situation back inside the sticks at 2nd down. You saw the athleticism of Manning right there.
No doubt. Manning, see his arm throwing that to the far sideline from over at the near hash marks here, but that was a little high for A.J. Johnson. It's 3rd and 5.
Great coverage out there by Andre Murphy. Everybody's locked up man. This looked like they're playing man-free from Riverside. One free safety deep, and everybody else locked up across the board, man on man, and it was great coverage that time on the Newman receiver by Andre Murphy, 5'9", 165-pound senior cornerback.
So from the 47, the line to make is the Riverside 48. Manning can't escape pressure. He's down for the 2nd time tonight. Noah Trepanier, the 6', 220-pound freshman, on the sack.
Man coverage all across the board right there. Great coverage buys time from Noah Trepanier on the delayed blitz to come inside through the C-gap and hit Manning right in the teeth right there. Manning's got to realize that that's man coverage, and he has to be able to get rid of the ball a lot faster. Because what he has is his receivers are trying to run away from the press man, so he's got to be able to get rid of that ball a lot faster because what's happening is he doesn't have the time to stand in there against the blitz.
Had a different punter in the game that time. That was Alexander Groom, the backup quarterback who was in on a punt. We've got a flag down at the 30-yard line. Let's see if this is running into or if this is roughing the kicker. Usually if you get running into the kicker, usually the rule, it's a 5-yard penalty. They may try to kick this again because that wasn't a great kick by Groom there, Wade. But as we look at it here, the rule of thumb is you hit the kicking leg, it's running into. You hit the plant leg, it's roughing.
Correct. And then it also goes to interpretation of the white hat back there that's watching the play. You know, was it purposeful? Was it on purpose? You know, a lot of it goes to the interpretation and how it's perceived by the white hat. But you're right about undercutting the plant leg or just getting a piece of the kicking leg, which is what happened right here. They elect to kick it again, which is a smart move.
Yep. Groom with a much better kick this time. And once again, Newman will get a very nice roll. This will pin Riverside down right at about the 20-yard line.
You know, that's 10 extra yards tacked onto a drive right there. They're going to have to get their punt returner moved up a little bit against the punt, and he's going to have to get his hands up. He's got to catch that football. Ball bounce right there at about the 27-yard line, rolls all the way down to about the 19 or 20-yard line. So that's all minus yards on a drive. You got to try to tack on at the other end, going the other way.
Sean Payton likes to talk about hidden yardage and special teams. You could 100 yards is a touchdown.
No doubt. Hidden yards, hidden play, they can all mean the difference in a big ball game.
Well defended on first down as They hand it off to Elijah Davis. Might have gotten about a yard. It'll be 2nd down and 9. And it looks like that maybe some adjustment. Yeah, Davis did pop a 14-yard run, but maybe some adjustments in trying to account for him there, Wade.
Well, you're going to have to account for him. I think they've woken up. They've seen the film of him for the last week against Southern Lab and how he went off up there. They're going to have to do something to account for his running inside the tackles as well as bouncing it outside on the stretch game and the toss game. You know, he's a physical runner. He's got nice eyes.
This is likely a Riverside timeout coming here. It's a play clock got down to 2. And the Rebels will call timeout with 3:52 remaining in the first half. So what do you think about the defensive adjustments we've seen here in the second quarter? I mean, a lot of times we talk about adjustments that get made at halftime. We're seeing teams adjusting maybe on the fly here a little bit in terms of how they're going to defend the opposition, because we've seen, first we saw 3 straight possessions with scores. Now we've seen 3 straight possessions either with punts or turnovers here in the second quarter.
Well, that means you got good coaching staffs working hard on that boundary in order to make sure that things are taken care of. Well, the first thing you see out of the guys in red, the Riverside Rebels, is you've seen them gone more man-to-man, press man-to-man, 1 free safety high, and they're bringing pressure off the edges where they've gotten more into a 4-man front, bringing their outside linebackers down on the line of scrimmage. So what that does is that brings up pressure off the edge as well as being able to open up the inside gaps, which we've seen a couple of their inside linebackers get home on the blitz. So their answer so far is man-to-man, bring more pressure. What Newman has done is somehow, some way, they've started slanting and stunning inside with their defensive line to try to be able to get penetration against the running back, Elijah Davis.
2nd down 9. And they'll go back to Hemel at quarterback. Larvadan was the quarterback on 1st down. And Larvadan jumped the gun there on the snap count.
Well, I think the whole snap count was off.
Yeah.
And it could have possibly been the center on the snap count.
That
because
could
you
well
saw everybody
be.
else moving
Exactly.
And the ball didn't move, so that's kind of it's like one of those Wile E. Coyote Roadrunner cartoons, Something happens and the guy looks at you in the camera real quick. The coyote usually is the one looking.
Right.
And right there, I think the center was the coyote.
So 2nd down and 14 now. Rebels working from behind the chains. Clock ticks towards 3.5 minutes here in the first half. Larvadan back in at quarterback now, and that is caught. That will be a 1st down. Quickly, we're seeing that he likes throwing the ball with David Raynaud. Third time he's thrown it his way tonight.
Right, he's showing up big tonight. Again, he's the second receiver at the top of your screen against the 3-deep coverage of Newman. He finds a soft spot on the square end right there in the middle underneath the safety, catches the ball, and then smartly gets out of bounds to try to work the clock. A lot of holes inside of that 3-deep coverage. Newman doesn't like to get out of it very much. They're going to sit and play their 3-deep zone and all night long and live and die with it. There's a lot of holes Riverside can pick on.
And once again, penetration in the backfield and knocking Elijah Davis for a loss of 4 on the play. And once again, it's going to be 2nd down and 14.
Well, the guy that makes that play right there was Will Randall, who we've been talking about all night tonight. I like this guy, 6'3", 225, sophomore. Does a great job on offense as a tight end, and right there we saw him make a big play on defense at his defensive end position. We've seen him do it tonight a couple times with a big sack back in the first quarter.
Clock ticks under 3 minutes. 2nd and 14 at the 31. Larvadan trying to set his feet. Now he's going to scramble. He'll let it fly, and that is going to be incomplete, thrown in the direction of Andre Murphy.
I think he threw that out of bounds. That was a smart play by Larvadan. That's when he's at his best, Lenny. Watch him. He just can't see right there over everybody. Let me get out of here and see what I can find. Everything was covered up down there. Smart athlete that he is. Point guard in basketball. Let's just throw this thing away and come back and live to play another down right there. Smart play by a great athlete.
So the line to make is the 45.
You know, the thing
Riverside made it on a 2nd and 14. The last series of downs. This is a 3rd and 14.
You know, the thing about that that Newman 3-deep coverage is you're going to have to get some pressure on the quarterback, and Newman has started getting some pressure on the quarterback.
T-Mail back at quarterback, throwing in the direction of Larvadan. That time incomplete, and it's going to be 4th down.
Everything covered up right there. Great coverage by the Greeny secondary. Sterling Scott, who we've talked about earlier tonight, as well as number 5, Terrence Williams, were all in the area on that 3-deep coverage right there. Ball trying to get fit in between 2 Greenies right there, and it was overthrown.
See how high Gage got up for that ball? I mean, he showed it didn't come down with it, but he showed you some hops right there.
Well, we were talking to the basketball coach before the game, right?
Timmy Bird is an outstanding coach, outstanding program he's had here.
And he was talking about what type of athlete Gage Larvadan was, especially on the basketball court, and how he can jump and shoot and everything else on the basketball court.
Email with the punt. That is going to go out of bounds right about the 42-yard line. Let's see where they spot it. They're going to come up a little further, up to the 45. And that's where, as we'll take another look, the Riverside crowd wasn't happy because they saw the ball hit out of bounds at the 42, but it was already out of bounds.
Right.
They practice those mechanics, the officials do, where it's not where it hit. It was out of bounds at the 42, but it actually crossed the line at the 45.
Right. No, well, they're supposed to come up and put their foot on the spot where it went out of bounds, and it looked like the official had the right spot.
Manning on the quarterback keeper gets to the edge and will get about 7 yards on 1st down.
Lenny, down before the game, I was down on the field, and I walked down to the Newman in where they were warming up, and I stood next to Manning. I'm 6'1", right? Last year when I went down when he was a freshman, he and I were looking eye to eye. Tonight he was looking down on me. This young man has grown and put on about 25 pounds in the offseason.
6'3", 190 now. That's caught for a 1st down. Still on his feet is John Charbonnet, the senior. His 12th catch of the year.
I mean, he's grown, and he's got such great work ethic. I mean, he's a sophomore. You know, schools like LSU, Alabama, Mississippi, Georgia, Tennessee, Duke, among many others, have come in and already offered this sophomore. And a lot of those schools, of course, have ties to his uncles and his grandfather. So, you know, he's going to have a choice to make in 2 years on what he's going to do.
Fake the little shovel to Johnson. Manning will step up now, look to run, and he's going to get the 1st down. That's some great poise right there, as we've got an injured Riverside player down at the end of that play. It looks like Nick Washington, the senior defensive lineman.
Well, he stepped up in the pocket. It was nice protection. He saw nothing open downfield. Again, keeping his eyes downfield for anything in white. Nice job, Nick Washington, getting up right there. And Manning takes off and right up the middle of the field. And, he's a load to bring down when he gets everything going. Again, that's good pocket presence, and that shows his talent as a quarterback and how he is just getting better and better as he's going to get older and older.
Well, this is obviously a big possession for the Greenies right here. 1:44 to play in the 1st half, down by 7. And remember, Newman won the toss and deferred, so Newman's going to get the ball to start the 3rd quarter.
Right. Riverside has 2 timeouts. Newman still has all 3. And, of course, they like to go in at halftime with this thing tied 14-14.
Manning will give it away to Scott, trying to get the edge. Cuts it back inside. Still on his feet. And down inside the 10-yard line is Sterling Scott.
Boy, I tell you what, right there, I want you to watch the block of the tight end out on the edge, Will Randall. I'm just going to, at the top, I'm just going to let you watch.
He's going to push him out of the screen here. He's going to keep blocking and blocking and blocking. There he goes.
Again, we talked in the 1st half that Riverside was having troubles on their flank. In their 3-4 defense, you've got to get those outside linebackers or strong safeties to be able to come up and support the run when the ball goes out. And that's going to have to come from those linebackers. They've been putting the blocking scheme in their sweeps. The Greenies have been putting their tight end, Will Randall, on that outside linebacker. 6'3", 225-pound sophomore. Will Randall has just been decimating those outside linebackers of Riverside. You just saw it right there on that particular outside play by the Greenies.
Scott gets 16 on the play. It's going to be 1st and goal at the 10-yard line.
You know, stuff like that just sticks out to me. When I see great blocking at the point of attack and things of that nature, that's what this game's about. You know?
Check it. It's going to be at the 9. It's actually inside the 10, gain of 17. From the 9, they'll give it away. Down to about the 6-yard line. That's once again Sterling Scott.
Sterling Scott running the counter tray. They pull the backside guard, backside tackle. You'll see it right here on your replay. There they are, getting pulled, leading up the hole right there. Actually, it was the backside tackle and the tight end, Will Randall, leading up into the hole. And nice job at the point of attack by the Greenie offensive line, but a lot of Riverside Rebels got themselves to that point of attack real fast for not that much of a pickup.
I think Riverside called that timeout. They're showing 1 timeout for Riverside on the board. Still 3 for Newman, and this is almost like an NFL move here, trying to call timeouts to make sure you get another possession perhaps before halftime.
Well,
with the way these offenses can move the ball.
Well, it's a couple things. You got to realize, too, that he's playing with a bunch of kids that go both ways. He's trying to give them a breather down there so they can get the maximum effort down inside the 10-yard line, but also trying at their fast-paced offense and their high-scoring offense, and they can go yard to yard from anywhere in the field. He's trying to make sure that they have a little time left on the board should Newman score.
Manning will run the sweep this way. Trying to cut it up inside. He falls forward to about the 1-yard line, and it's 3rd and goal. Maybe about 1.5 yards to go. Let's see exactly where they spot it.
You can see blocking of Will Randall again on that outside linebacker. The outside linebacker gets off of it that time. That was number 6, Shamar Jackson, the senior defensive back, strong safety, does a nice job playing off the block of Randall to stop that thing down inside the 2.
3rd and goal at the 2. Scott alongside Manning. They'll fake it. Manning's going to keep it, and he is going to outrun the defense into the corner of the end zone for a touchdown. That was a nicely conceived play right there. A little bit of read option, just a different look for it, and Manning runs to the corner and outruns the defense for a touchdown.
If I'm not mistaken, that looked almost like an RPO from the standpoint where he had the opportunity to pull that ball and throw it, but everything was covered, and he just decided to try to take his, tall, athletic body to try to get as close as he could to the goal line, and everything opened up for him so he could walk in. I would think that was an RPO down there looking for the slant of the wide receiver who was covered coming from his left.
Neesett on to try the point after to pull us even, and it is good. And with 33 seconds remaining in the first half, we are all tied at 14.
33 seconds remaining in the half. The score is 9-14.
About what you expected thus far, Wade?
Absolutely. I mean, we're seeing 2 outstanding group of athletes going out of it, hit for hit and play for play. And the billing coming into this with Gage Larviden and Arch Manning coming in, it's living up to it. But, what I like and what I'm seeing is out of the players that are what I call X factors, the running back for Riverside, Elijah Davis, and I am really, really high on this kid, Will Randall, the tight end, not just because he can catch the ball, but he does a great job as a defensive end as well as a blocking tight end.
Here's the thing that surprised me thus far. Riverside has attempted 9 passes. Newman has attempted 5. I would not have expected that. I mean, you came in where the 2 quarterbacks, Larviden and Hemel, had combined for 54 attempts in 4 games. Manning had thrown it 82 times.
Well, I think last week Riverside really discovered what type of running back Elijah Davis was. And I think tonight they came in with the mentality that they're going to get a heavy dose of Elijah Davis to the Newman Greenies, and so far they've done that.
The up back fielding that kickoff, that was Nick Washington, the senior defensive lineman / fullback, looking more like a fullback there. Takes it out to about the 29-yard line, and that's where the Rebels will play with 25 seconds remaining in the half. And you would think, Wade, as explosive as this team can be on offense, that you got to take some kind of shot right here. Except now throwing a holding penalty against the Rebels, so they're going to be backed up here. See exactly where they spot the football. I didn't see where the hold took place, but looks like it's going to be, it's certainly inside the 20. I'll see exactly where they put it down, perhaps the 19-yard line, so right near the end of the play.
With that athletic talent, I think they need to take some sort of shot right here. And you've got to remember, they've got guys, especially number 3 right there, that with the ball in his hands, he can make you miss in a coat closet, and he can go coast to coast at any time. So Newman's got to keep their guard up here for 25 seconds.
Larvadan will drop back to pass. He will let it fly, and it is incomplete. But his man, Cade Middleton, another one of those sophomores, had a step on Terrence Williams.
Well, Newman, if they're smart here, they've got 3 timeouts. Believe it or not, if Riverside's going to take shots like this and and overthrow and get incompletions and don't get those connections like that, those timeouts come into play for Newman.
Sure, you got a chance. You got a chance to at least rush the punter and try to make a play in the special teams game.
Exactly. They come into play, so look for Newman taking a timeout.
This is Larvadan on the keeper, and he is brought down by Will Hardy after a gain of about 5, and I believe the Rebels may let it run out. Let's see if they take one more shot before half on 3rd and 5.
Newman doesn't take the timeout. That's surprising.
They'll run one more play as the horn sounds. Larvadan gets away from one defender, gets away from another, lets it fly, and that is going to be knocked away, incomplete, and that is how the first half is going to come to an end. So an entertaining 24 minutes of football in reserve, as we expected, between a pair of unbeatens. Your halftime score, Newman 14 and Riverside 14. Wade, quickly, your thoughts on what we've seen in the first half this evening.
Entertaining. Everybody's getting their money's worth here tonight, and everybody out there that hopefully is tuning in on Crescent City Sports is getting their money's worth off their Wi-Fi, because they're seeing some great athletes actually getting after it tonight right here in reserve. And as I've said, we've seen a nice job out of Arch Manning. We've seen him run the ball tonight, which is not surprising, but he's definitely capable of doing. And then we're getting a great look at Gage Larvadan, who's doing a yeoman's job again, obviously, for the Riverside Rebels. But like I said, it's the guys that are the X factors that I think are the most entertaining tonight for both sides, and that would be obviously Elijah Davis, and then my personal favorite so far tonight, Will Randall.
Yeah, there's been we've seen more than just the 2 players we talked about in our open tonight.
Absolutely,
no question,
no doubt
about that. We will get to some scores. We will get to some stats. A lot of that, but as we mentioned, Wade, our thoughts and prayers with everyone who is having to deal with the aftermath of Hurricane Zeta that hit our area Wednesday night. Again, St. John Parish was really on the fringes of that, and as you can see, did not have any issues. They've got minimal power outages in this area, minimal damage, and as a result, we're playing football here where a lot of other people are still trying to figure out if they're playing a game, when they're playing a game, where they're playing a game this week.
Right.
I guess, call it coincidence, irony, or whatever. Last week we had a chance to visit with Riverlands Insurance Services CEO Nolan Luke to talk about things insurance related. And, we talked about game plans and being ready for when you have to make an insurance claim and all the things that go with it. And have a plan of attack to be able to deal with it. That and so much more. COVID-19 as well is playing so much of a part as well. Here's our visit with Nolan Luke.
COVID-19 was, it changed the insurance industry as a whole. But, the one thing that I want people to know out there that, there is changes that the industries are making. There's changes that you can make to your policy. On a homeowner's policy, the company allows you to build a policy to suit, meaning that if you look at your homeowner's policy, they have a couple $100,000 worth of coverage on it. All the coverages underneath it a company actually gives it to you automatically. It'd be best if you call your agent, you discuss your coverages. What COVID-19 did, it brought the agent and the customer closer together, allowed them to communicate more on their policy, and really build a policy that suits them even more today than it did in the past. So I recommend you call your agent, or I recommend you call Riverlands Insurance Services. We can build a policy to suit. When you have a game plan, the main thing about it, going into a game, you have a game plan. You know what you got. You know your weaknesses of your policies. You know your strengths of your policies. And, to have that right plan, it's all about communication with your agent. You could develop that plan. It's the game plan, knowing that you're preparing for a claim before it happens. You know the risk you're taking, like I said before. You know what's covered. And it's all about preparation before the event. And just, in the game of football, in the game of any sports, you're preparing for what the other team does. You're preparing for any changes in their game plan. Same thing with insurance. We game plan for the claim before the event happens. Don't look at an agent as your agent. Look at your agent as a team, so they can prepare. You could count on us. You could count on the whole staff. And one thing I'm especially proud of that, we just got awarded American Business of Insurance just rewarded us the best place to work for having 100 employees under. The award is countrywide. They take the top 30 agency in the country that has employees between 50 and 100. And yes, we got voted in. I'm real proud of that. But what I'm really proud of, besides being the best place to work and being that top 30, we was actually number one. And it all goes by team. It all goes about just making everybody feel that they are a member of a team that's pulling the rope the same way. And like the kicker is just important on that team as the quarterback, and on our team is our receptionist. She's the director of first impression. Is just as important as me as the CEO of this company. And so if you take that approach in our business, that that we're a team. Our every staff has a say-so in our organization, and every staff member is very important for our success in our organization. And why high school sports important to me? I think that's where my foundation was built. At a very young age, I played, ball. I played basketball and baseball, and I think that's where my passion for team, was built. And it's all about surrounding yourself with the right people and fighting for the direction you want your organization, your team to go. So I think it was all built, and it all started in my high school days.
So again, our thanks to Nolan Luke and Riverlands Insurance Services for their support of high school football here on Crescent City Sports. Not just this year, but the last several years. We got to look at the halftime stats, Wade, and look, you see, that middle line is kind of surprising right there. Passing yards, Riverside 134, Newman 21.
Well, everybody thinks Newman, Arch Manning, they're going to air the ball out and they're going to light things up on the stat page with their passing yardage, right? Well, that just hasn't come to pass tonight. They found a running game. They're rushing the ball adequately against the Rebels, but Manning is finding it tough going in the passing game tonight. Riverside has gotten to them a couple times on the blitz, and one of the things I just mentioned to you while we were watching Nolan Luke is that Newman's going to have to do something against that man coverage to be able to get their receivers open and run. They got to run better routes against the man coverage. That's the bottom line. If you look at the total yards, Riverside's up 100 yards on them. I mean, I would have thought Newman at this point would be a little bit higher yardage there.
Some of that. Now, keep in mind this too. Some of that is that hidden yardage we talked about in special teams.
Correct.
Riverside's had to go down the field longer.
Correct.
Newman has had shorter fields to work with.
But just more of a balanced offense, I guess, is what I'm trying to say.
Right.
You would see that passing yardage would have balanced things out a little bit more in the total yardage. Playing clean football, 1 Riverside turnover to the Newman's 0 turnovers, and that could play a huge factor in the second half moving forward.
Let's take a look at some scores around the area. As always, our Louisiana Prep Football Scoreboard presented by the All-State Sugar Bowl. Get all the scores from around the state, real time, CrescentCitySports.com. And our thanks to the All-State Sugar Bowl. This is their 10th consecutive year sponsoring our high school football scoreboard. A couple of games last night, by the way. Covington over Hammond, 20-0. Lutcher over Berwick, 49-13. Second quarter, St. Paul's leads North Shore, 21-7. First quarter, Kentwood over Varnado, 12-8. Halftime, just down the road. I don't know if that's right. We got to check on that one. It says Donaldsonville over St. James, 30-0. I don't know if that. We have to check on that one. That might be backwards there. Hannon leading Bogalusa, 28-6 at halftime. The Hawks are not bad this year. Remember they got to the Dome the first year after the split,
right?
As a 4 seed in Division 4, and they've had a pretty good year thus far. So team maybe to watch for as a sleeper this year. Second quarter, Westgate leading Lakeshore 7-3. That was a last minute whether that one's going to get played or not, but they got power back on the Lakeshore campus and were able to play. St. Charles Catholic just down the road leading Franklinton 22-0 at half. Halftime, Mandeville all over Fontainebleau 43-0. They have been the Skippers, putting up some points, and they found a running game this year, which I find interesting. They've been the kind of team that's kind of spread it out all over the park, but they've really found a running game this year. Right. Also, just down the road, East St. John leading Destrehan 12-3 at the break. Ponchatoula all over Slidell. That's a little bit of a surprise to me. Just the margin there, 35-0 second quarter. That's a bit of a surprise.
Well, that's the talented Ponchatoula offense putting those points up.
Yeah.
He's going to have one of his own. Hank Tierney, we're talking about at Ponchatoula tomorrow. Everybody will be watching. And I'm sure watched last week the LSU Tigers, and they'll see a Ponchatoula Green Wave, a freshman starting at quarterback again tomorrow for the Tigers against the Auburn Tigers.
TJ Finley, we saw him 3 times the last 2 years,
right?
And he was, he got better every time we saw him take the field. I remember that last game we saw against Destrehan in the playoffs last year. They got in a hole early, and he did not quit. He just continued to battle back, make plays, end up passing for over 300 yards in that game. Really showed me something in that one. A lot of games have been postponed that were scheduled to be played tonight, even tomorrow, relocated, whatever. Some have moved up.
Right.
Hanville Central Lafourche now tomorrow at 11 a.m. John Curtis Jesuit was supposed to be at 11 a.m. at Joe Yenny. It's now noon at Tad Gormley. Holy Cross Rumble was supposed to be 7 o'clock at Joe Yenny. It's now 1 o'clock at John L. Guidry Stadium in Thibodaux. You'll be able to see that one here on CrescentCitySports.com tomorrow, as well as hear the call on 106.1 Nash Icon.
Well, you got to do what you have to do to find a place to play with all the circumstances going on. I mean, everybody's battling the COVID thing and the number of people you can have in the stands, and then all of a sudden we've been hit by 3 hurricanes. Well, 3 devastating hurricanes to our coastline, and from southwest Louisiana all the way over to now southeast Louisiana, everybody's been scrambling to try to have that normalcy that we talked about at the beginning of the show. And so if it means you've got to play at 12 o'clock on a Sunday or a Saturday afternoon, you're going to do that so your kids can play football.
No doubt. McDonough 35 Salmon postponed until tomorrow night. John Ehret Riverdale postponed until Sunday. Pope John Paul Kenner Discovery postponed until Sunday. Now, here's an interesting one. The game that just came about today. Carr was supposed to play McMain. That is not happening. St. Aug was supposed to play Helen Cox. Both of those games were supposed to be at Hoss Memphis. Neither one of those games happening. So now Carr and St. Aug have gotten together, and they're going to play at Gormley Sunday afternoon at 1:30.
There's the thing, and you know what's great about that is, hey, I know nothing about you, you know nothing about us.
And the
forget the
part
film. Let's just go play.
They know a lot about each other
Exactly.
because the new St. Aug coach is a former car assistant. So it's these guys know a lot about each other. They may not know the personnel,
right. Well,
but they know a lot
I'm just
about
talking
each
about
other.
the film study that you do
no
and
doubt.
the breakdown, and you get all the things that you need to do with the percentages and all the film breakdown that you normally do all week long, and you're not going to have that going in. You know about each other's programs, and you know about each other's coaching styles and what you like to run, but after that, it's going to be coach versus coach on making different types of adjustments right there, on the sidelines, and kids being able to quickly handle those adjustments by their coaches. That's great. That's fun.
Yeah, just play the game. It's what it's all about. The kids want to, they want to be able to play, and so you give them a chance to play. And kudos to those two schools to help make that happen. And obviously, COVID-19 playing havoc with schedules as teams aren't able to play. For a variety of reasons there, and that has certainly seen schedule changes happen on the fly, much like what we saw today with that St. Aug car game. So a lot of those kind of things continuing to happen, and they've been happening every week. Some of the other games around the state, just taking a quick scan through our statewide scoreboard. Again, get all the scores at CrescentCitySports.com. Good one tonight in Lafayette Christian and Notre Dame.
Right.
Two schools that are perennial contenders to be in state championship games. Lafayette Christian leading that one right now, 28-14, second quarter.
Wow, Lafayette Christian number 3 and Notre Dame number 1 on our Crescent City Sports top 2A top 10. That's two heavyweights battling it out right there.
Faraday, who's number 2, by the way, leads at Vidalia 48-0 at halftime. So a Lafayette Christian win. Lafayette Christian's one loss is to Acadiana, who's the number 1 ranked team in 5A right now.
Correct.
Newman is number 5 in the 2A rankings, and Riverside is number 7 in the 1A rankings. The number 1 team there is Ouachita Christian, always the defending Division 4 champions. They are always in the mix there. And get this, they are trailing Oak Grove, who's number 2, 20-7 at halftime. So a huge game going on in 1A tonight.
It's two heavyweights.
2 1A, yeah.
Two heavyweights out. That's probably for the district championship.
At home with the lead. Now, you won't see them again. They'll go in their different directions. They could both end up holding gold trophies at the end of the year just by the nature of what that is. So you got a lot of good 1A football up in North Louisiana.
What's good about that is they're in the same district, right? And the district championship should mean something to you. I've always felt that, and that's kind of where all of this stuff with the LHSAA has gone in the past few years with this split and all of this, and it's taken away from district championships as back in the day, I say, prior to the split, the district championships were something that you preached to your kids, was something that was important.
No doubt. And the thing there is, we spend a lot of time doing Catholic League games, and
right.
That is the one league that it really still matters. And I think it does in some other leagues as well. The leagues that have been together for a long period of time, like this River Bayou League out here. Obviously, you got some great rivalries there, and I think championships matter. That North Shore League, all of those schools have been together for a long time. It matters there. A lot of other ones, you see movement up and down, and maybe not as much. And you see select and non-select schools that end up getting mixed in, and then they go their separate ways come playoff time, which, oh, by the way, we are, 3 weeks away from Selection Sunday?
Correct.
So we're, be a little different. State championships coming the week between Christmas and New Year's. And the question's going to be is
where?
What days and where?
Where?
Yeah, it's kind of open ended at this point, and we don't have those answers.
Some issues as have come to light with the Dome and the LHSAA
in terms of what's going to be allowed to be done. I mean, that's
Correct.
what it comes down to. So, and it's with all the championships, whether it's facility related, like the ones in the the ones in Southwest Louisiana, they had to move the swim championships out of Sulphur because some of them may have been facility related, but a lot of it is a lack of hotel rooms for these teams and these fans to be able to stay because they're being used up by evacuees right now.
Correct.
And so that championship is headed to Shreveport this year, the swimming championship. And volleyball will still be at the Pontchartrain Center in a couple of weeks.
Right. And whether you're in the Dome or you're in some parking lot of a Rouse's somewhere, right? You're playing for a championship, and that's what's important for these kids, and they'll understand the importance. That I bet if you and I walked down and interviewed 25 of these kids here playing tonight and said, if you have a chance to play a state championship in a parking lot somewhere, would you play it? First thing they're going to say is, darn right I am, because that's what's important to them, and that's what's important for their careers, and that's what they pay the price for all the time in the off season. Dome's nice, love it. And to the LHSAA credit, they're working as hard as they can to make sure everything is right for their kids to host the right championship events. But, they're having to deal with mayors of cities, presidents of parishes, and COVID-19 and different types of rules.
Well, it's a lot of things that athletic directors didn't necessarily sign up for. There's no question about that. So.
Nor did the LHSAA,
no,
for that matter.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it. As you look at some of the other rankings in 5A, Acadiana number 1, Zachary 2. Brother Martin moves up to 3 after their big win last Saturday over Archbishop Rummel.
I'm impressed by this Brother Martin team this year. These guys are playing really well right now. And they held on to win against a great Rummel team the other day, but they jumped up on them, I think, by 24 points.
It was 20-2.
Right.
18, yeah. So, and then they held on 26-23.
And but that shows something about the Brother Martin program being able to withstand the push like that from a Raider football team that has historically been in tough situations before and has prevailed.
First loss in 2 years. Nick Monica's first loss as a head coach. Rummel dropped to 8th, by the way. The rest of the top 10, Catholic at number 4, John Curtis at 5, West Monroe 6, Scotlandville 7, Rummel 8, East St. John 9, Ruston 10. So you're looking at 5 of the top 8 are select schools in the 5A rankings.
Right.
And the other 3 are select. You got Acadiana, Zachary, West Monroe, always contenders, filling out the rest of that. So, and in 4A, you got Carr at number 1, St. Thomas More 2, Karen Crow 3, Northwood 4, Minden, Tioga, Warren Easton, who we got a chance to see a couple of weeks ago, Neville, Vanderbilt Catholic, and Carver rounding out the top 10. And then in 3A, De La Salle, team we saw very impressive last week in that win over St. Charles Catholic at 1, Madison Prep 2, St. James 3, Union Parish 4, University High at 5, then Jennings, Lake Charles College Prep, Church Point, Jules Sumner, and Sterlington rounding out the top 10. So we're about a couple of minutes away from getting things started here in the third quarter. It's like Nelson Stewart is having a bit of an animated discussion over there with Benny Jones and a couple of members of his crew.
Yeah, they're trying to figure out where they're going to dinner. I mean, that's what that's all about right there. No. Yeah. I mean, what he's doing right now, let me tell you what he's doing, okay? What he's trying to do is he's trying to get issues in their ears to make sure that if those issues creep up again, which they're going to probably, whatever he's arguing about in the second half, he's going to have kind of the political wind on his side, and hopefully he can get a call at the right time from that. That's what's going right there in that conference. Don't think they're talking about where they're going to have a beer after the game.
I don't even know if they're open anyway.
Yeah, there's a rule against that too, isn't there? So
they may have to close at 11. Yeah, so
right there you go.
So what do you think both coaches talked about? I'd say in locker rooms, but in Newman huddling in the north end zone there. What the coaches talked to their teams at halftime. What was the message?
Well, I think what went on in the Newman locker room was offensively, he had a huge discussion with his wide receivers about how to get off of press coverage and man coverage and run better man routes. That was what he talked to his offense about. Defensively, I believe what he said is, I think we found an answer. But what we've got to do is we've got to make sure we don't get beat by Elijah Davis. We've done a decent job in Larvidan. We've done a decent job on their other receivers. We've done a decent job when Luke Hemel's been in the game, but we've got to come up with an answer. We can't go to sleep on what we think is the X factor for Riverside, Elijah Davis. Now, in that Riverside locker room, the first thing I'm sure that Kevin Dizer said to his group is he said, hey, we belong here tonight. You got to remember all these kids. He started a bunch of freshmen last year, and some of these kids are just sophomores playing here tonight with a great showing.
Yeah.
He said, we belong here tonight with a team like Newman, so let's play like we belong. So what that means is we're going to have to play better defense, and they have got to come up with an answer to be able to stop their outside running game. And that includes stopping Arch Manning running the football on the outside edge. So that was the big talk that they've had in that Riverside locker room.
McClendon to kick it off. And off we go for the next 24 minutes. Scott from about the 20, up the middle, finding some running room, and then out to about the 45-yard line, make it the 46.
I want to see what type of routes these Newman receivers are going to use when it comes to the point a pass is called to get off of press coverage, because so far tonight, this Riverside defense, their corners and their safeties have done a real nice job against their receivers. Where Riverside's got to kind of get things better is on the edge against those outside runs. Like I said, their outside linebackers are going to have to step up. So look for Riverside to go to more of a four-man front, which is what they're lining up in right now.
So from the 45, again, Newman getting some field position there. Manning's pass juggled and caught. Might have been better to be dropped there as Pike Philibert brought it in. It's going to go as a loss of 2.
Almost picked off. The ball was being bobbled around. It looks like Lavernan came in and almost took that right out of the hands of the Newman receiver, and that could have been a huge takeaway right there for the Rebels.
So 2nd down and 12 for the Greenies from the 43. Manning from the pistol. Throws the little middle screen that time to his tight end, and Randall will get out near the sticks, but just short.
That's the way you slow down a rush. You throw it right back at him in some sort of slip screen, and this time it was a slip screen by the tight end. Watch Randall set up, slide to the middle right there. Needed to set up his blocking a little bit better, but for the most part, it was a nice pickup by Randall on the middle screen.
3rd and a long 1. Got to get right to that stripe at the 45-yard line. You can see the sticks across the way. Give it away to Scott and room to run. Out to the 40 where he's finally met and driven back. Scott now with 70 yards on 7 carries tonight, Wade.
There's the counter tray again. We saw it in the first half. This time they did add 21 personnel, 2 backs, 1 tight end. They run the downhill counter play for big yardage to pick up the first down.
They'll put it right at the 40-yard line. Shuffling some personnel here are the Greenies. Changing out receivers.
Yeah, back to their traditional 11 look. They love to be in that 1 tight end, 1 back set.
Play action, taking a shot down the field. Flag is thrown. Pass is incomplete, and we're going to have an eligible man downfield, I believe, here, Wade. I see a couple of linemen out past the 35-yard line.
That's a big penalty if it is.
Well, check that. We have 2 penalties. Roughing the passer on the defense and an eligible man downfield against the offense. So that makes that penalty even bigger.
Well, there's the lineman downfield, number 78.
And you saw the hit coming in right at the about 2 steps after the ball was gone.
Yeah, he had 2 steps to be able to lower his shoulder pad. They're going to call that every time. But you saw the offensive lineman, I believe that was number 78 downfield right there to get that call.
Once again, play the 40-yard line. Yeah, I don't know if it was
it had to be
checking out of a run play or something and saw he could take a shot.
Right, because that was not any type of RPO.
Manning gives it away to Scott, gets a stiff arm to break free, and then is run out of bounds just before the marker at the 31-yard line.
Newman did a nice job picking up the blitz. Number 4, Emmanuel Franklin was coming from his linebacker position. Watch him pick up the blitz in the A-gap right here. Bang. They stone it right there at the wall, but he doesn't continue bouncing off of it and keeping his feet running, and that allows Sterling Scott to bounce right past it and pick up huge chunks of yardage right there for Newman. The problem is when you send those inside linebackers and the plays bounce to the outside, you don't have that inside-out pursuit. So you better get them when you're there, because if you don't, when you get outside, there's nobody running them down inside-out on the pursuit angles.
This is Scott once again, just continuing to ground and pound here, and he is out near the 20-yard line, and it's another Newman first down, a gain of 10.
Again, Newman showing their running prowess here tonight. Everybody thinks Newman passed the ball. But you can see Sterling Scott right here. He's just pounding right here. Here's a counter tray. Kick out and seal. Look at the block by the tight end. Right there again. Just getting up on that linebacker and just running him down the field. And we're talking about Will Randall, the fine tight end from Newman.
I have been so impressed. I don't know if I like him better on offense or defense from what I've seen tonight.
This cat's only a sophomore, too.
Yep. Randall, 6'3", 225 pounds. He's caught his 6th pass of the year tonight, but that's probably the last thing we'd be talking about. Now it's Pleasant on first down, and he's not going to make things pleasant for the Riverside defense. Inside the 10, it's 1st and goal.
We haven't called Pleasant's name a lot tonight. He comes in the leading rusher for Newman, 43 rushes, 218 yards, 5.1 yard average with 3 TDs. He could have driven his car through that right there. You saw how big that hole was? They wall out the defensive end and they pin the defensive lineman down, the tackle, and he had all types of room to rush.
So from the 9, we had movement up front. It's going to be offside against Riverside.
That's Bobby Wells again. His 2nd time tonight jumping offsides. I wonder if Manning is doing something with his snap count, hard count down there to be able to get Wells offsides. Problem is Wells lining right up over the ball. First thing you do is you ball key. The ball's right in your vision. There shouldn't be any reason why you should be jumping offsides if you're lining up right on the ball at the nose position. Things like that just drive coaches crazy. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you.
Yeah. So now we saw this on the goal line earlier. Now they're going to work out of the eye. But first, we have a whistle. So Pleasant goes to the fullback spot, and Scott operates as the tailback. And Scott will get it on first down. Trying to get to the outside, cuts it back in, and he is in for the touchdown. 4 yards on the run by Sterling Scott, his 3rd touchdown of the season, and Newman leads it 20-14.
That drive was all Sterling Scott right there. I mean, you see him take it in the end zone right here on the outside stretch with the lead blocker of Pleasant right there. Everything just gets soft on the Riverside defense off to their right side, and he barrels into the end zone to put the Newman Greenies up by 7. But that drive was initiated on the ground by Sterling Scott.
Now 93 yards rushing for Scott tonight. Point after try is good, and with 7:39 remaining here in the 3rd quarter, your new score, Newman 21, Riverside 14. And Wade, to give us a chance to remind you that Crescent City Football is brought to you by Gills Bar for more than half a century, offering services, solutions, and support for businesses and associations looking for happier constituents and healthier bottom lines. And headquartered on the North Shore. To learn more on how Gills Bar can help your business, visit gillsbar.com. 7 plays, 55 yards, 4:21 off the clock. We saw passes the first 2 plays, then we saw 5 runs. And that, I think what you're seeing here, Wade, is Newman realizes that they can win this game at the point of attack on offense, and they don't need to put the ball in the air as much as maybe they have in some other games.
I mean, you got to go with what brung you, and what's going with what brung them right now tonight is the running game, which they established from the very first series they came out in. Now, obviously, all week long, you put together a running game and a passing game off of what you do on film and things of that nature. Hey, rough week for the Newman Greenies. They've been without electricity,
right.
Obviously since Wednesday, and they still don't have it.
Still don't have it
so
uptown.
Getting a lot of that work in is tough. And we were talking to the head coach before the game, Nelson Stewart. They had to even go through a walkthrough this morning as a practice on game day to try to catch up on a few things. But they have established that run since the first series of the game, and they've done it now in the first series of the second half.
Middleton picked that one up back at about the 5-yard line, averted some disaster, and got it out past the 20. We'll see where they spot the football. About the 24. And they will put the football down at the 24-yard line. So that is where this Riverside Rebel offense will begin its first possession of the second half. So really what Nelson Stewart was able to do is they got that score right before halftime, got the kickoff. They've doubled up. Sean Payton loves to be able to do that. We talk about that when you're watching the Saints a lot. Newman's able to do it here, turn a one-score deficit into a one-score lead. Give it away on first down, and it's well defended right there as the other number 7, Elijah Davis, who we've seen carry the ball quite a bit, doesn't get anywhere. No gain on the play.
They're trying to run inside trap right there. No place to go. Penetration all up the field by the Newman Greenies, and again, waiting on the tackle right there was Will Randall, and as you said, number 7, Sterling Scott, getting in there also.
14 carries, 51 yards for Davis. This will be a design run play all the way, and not a lot of room that time for Larvidan. Gets a couple, and it's going to be 3rd down and 8.
Not a lot of blocking up front either right there. Larvidan had a design quarterback draw, but seemed like there was penetration all up front with white jerseys. You see the penetration right there and just not anywhere to go.
Call it a gain of 3. It's going to be 3rd and 7 from the 27. Larvidan tonight, 37 yards rushing on 6 carries. He's got 73 yards passing, also has a 3-yard catch, so he's accounted for 113 yards. He came in averaging 302 yards a game. He'll throw it here on 3rd down, find his safety valve. That was the running back Davis, who will get a couple, but he'll be short of the 1st down.
Look, that's not Dave. Even though Davis can catch the football, that's not his bread and butter. You know, they've kind of getting away on this series of the things that they did well in the first half, and that's run Davis downhill, right? So they need to get back to doing things with number 7, running him downhill, and get that steam engine going again.
4th and 5, and Riverside is lining up to go for this. And we're going to get a timeout called by the officials. Perhaps this might be the hydration break here. I didn't see one called in the first quarter. Pretty sure they called one in the second quarter. So this is a hydration timeout with 5:55 remaining in the third quarter. Well, on this night, you don't need it, but they've been taking it all along.
Right,
so they're continuing to take it. Yeah,
they're going to take the hydration break, but I tell you what, it comes at a good time, I think, for me, from the standpoint.
It's a free timeout to help decide what you want to do here.
It gives Kevin Dizer a chance to hesitate and think a second about, do I need to go for this deep in my territory, because this could be a turning point of the ball game, or do I punt this thing away?
Well, the other thing, and I wonder here what you can do. Let's see what they do at quarterback right here. It's going to still be Larvidan, but Hemel, your other quarterback, is also your punter, which gives you the ability to do some things.
Or this could be some sort of hard count.
Perhaps. Try to just take the 5 here, see if you can draw them, because this is right at 4th and 5. If you can draw them offside, you can get a first down perhaps. Newman's only set up to rush 3. They will snap it. Fake the option. Larvidan keeps room to run. 40 and out past the 40 to the 44-yard line and a first down.
Well, I'll tell you what, he dialed up the right play.
Yeah, that is really the first time we've got to see just
they run lead option.
The maneuverability here of Larvidan. Watch that move.
Newman slow plays it with their defensive end, number 48 out there, number 46, Brandon McGowan slow plays it, and Gage Larvidan makes him look like he's standing still, takes a cut north and south and runs for the first down yardage.
Gain of 15, comes near side with the pass, it's caught right at the sticks. We'll see where they mark it. It's going to be another first down, as that's Andre Murphy on the catch. First catch of the night for Murphy. Gain of 11.
Left-hander puts the ball right on the numbers of the intended receiver, Andre Murphy, who comes in with 1 touchdown on the night, averaging 19.8 yards every time he touches the ball. Larverdale's got a nice quick delivery, left-hander. He gets rid of it quick.
Came in having attempted 24 passes in 4 games. Hemel had attempted 30. This is all run all the way, and it is well picked up by Will Randall, calling his name again from his defensive end spot. It's a loss of 4.
Well, Will Randall just completely destroys the block of the right tackle, Colby Wilson. Let's take a look at it right here. Punch, shred right there. There you go. Played by a defensive lineman. Get those hands inside, lock them out, and use some sort of get-off move, and he uses a power shrug right there on the offensive lineman to get rid of it and make the tackle for the loss.
I'll call it officially a loss of 3 on the play. 2nd down and 13. Put it down at the 48-yard line of Newman. Second series of the second half. We were tied 14 apiece at halftime. Newman scored on the first series of half. Larverdale lets one fly. Got a man caught inside the 10, 1st and goal. And once again, it was Murphy on the catch.
Murphy runs a post route. He's running right into the free safety, but the free safety's underneath him. He gets on top of the free safety. You see the strength of the arm of Larverdale, airs it out right there, and it falls in between 2 white jerseys for an incredible play. Deep ball across the top, 1st and goal, Rebels.
Put it at the 6-yard line. Larverdale into the end zone. Touchdown.
That drive was all Larverdale, just like the last drive we talked about for Newman was all Sterling Scott. That drive was number 3 Gage Larverdale. He gets the big pickup on the 4th down. He throws the bomb and airs it out right there and places it between 2 defenders, and then he takes it in and finishes it off for the icing on the cake right there for the touchdown for the Rebels to come within 1 point.
Yeah, 76-yard drive, and you had, as they're going to go for 2 here, Larverdale running around in trouble, and he's going to be brought down behind the line of scrimmage, or certainly short of the goal line, and the 2-point try fails. So with 4:16 remaining in the third quarter, as you get another look at the 2-point try, it just got blown up quickly right there. Evan Plauché was in the backfield with the penetration, and that just disrupted everything.
Didn't look like it was set up very well. I don't know exactly what it was, if it was an RPO or if it was he should have handed the ball off to his running back Davis. Don't know what that was right there, but there was a lot of penetration by the guys in white, and here we are with 4:16 in an electrifying third quarter so far by 2 outstanding offenses. 1-point game, 21-20, Newman.
We've got, looks like an unsportsmanlike call against Riverside here. I'm not sure what happened there, but I think Riverside's going to kick off from the 25-yard line.
Well, if it was assessed on the 2-point play, whatever the unsportsmanlike was, it will be on the next play, which will be the kickoff. We just did not see it from our vantage point, nor did we see it on our replays.
No.
But this is hidden yardage.
There you go. And look, the way Newman has gotten field position out of the kicking game this evening, I mean, they've got a chance to start this drive on the Riverside end of the field here.
That's that hidden yardage. Those are things that it's a kid's sport, and kids are going to be kids, but those are things you got to teach your kids that are unacceptable.
All right, McClendon will kick it off from the 25. Kick is away. This is a better kick this time, but A.J. Johnson's got a chance to return this from the 25-yard line. Slips and falls. Ball came out, but he was already down.
Looked like he slipped, and the ball, as he comes down on the ground, just bounces right out of his arms, and you'll see it on the replay right here.
Get another look at it here, and pretty sure his knee is down before the ball comes out. As he slips, his elbow was already on the ground, and then the ball comes out.
Elbow, knee, everything else was on the ground, and the ball comes out. But a lot of excitement right there. You really got the fans on the Riverside side all pumped up on that.
Now, do we have another penalty coming up here? Let's see what's going on here. We've got a hold. Oh, no, illegal block against Newman. So this had an opportunity to be great field position for Newman. Between the good kick, the slip on the return, and now the penalty, Newman is going to start back at the 27-yard line.
Let's see if we can see a block in the back anywhere. You know, I hate to say this, but we've seen a lot of calls tonight that are duly justified, and some sloppy things like jumping off sides, blocks in the back. There's the block in the back right there.
Right there.
You know, things that you've got to clean up on, and it was number 51 for the Greenies that looks like he had the block in the back. William Hewitt, a reserve linebacker.
On first down, continuing to fight. That is Pleasant. And he will be right near the sticks. Let's see where they mark this. They're going to call it a first down. Gain of 10 and move the chains out to the 37-yard line.
You know, Pleasant's a load to bring down, and Riverside's going to have to do a better job tackling right there. David Reynaud comes up, just dives at the feet of Pleasant, and that's not going to bring a load like him down. You've got to go low and hard on him, and you've got to wrap up and hold on and wait for the rest of the cavalry to get there.
Pleasant met in the backfield, falls forward. Probably put this down right near the line of scrimmage. And a nice play that time by Bobby Wells, the senior defensive lineman.
Yeah, a lot better job right there that time. He gets there, Bobby Wells gets there, and he wraps up a load right there and brings him down, and he waits for the rest of the red jerseys to come help him out. Just like as I was talking about, that's the way you play team defense. You got to get everybody to the ball. You got to pursue your tail off and get there and get a piece of the running back. Everybody deserves to get a piece. That's what I used to always say. So you're going to have to get there and light them up.
Coming down to the 3-minute mark here of the third quarter. Play action, a little middle screen that time. And out near the first down marker is Kai Donaldson after a gain of 8 on the screen pass from Manning.
Trying to run the tunnel screen to Kai Donaldson, 6'4", 194-pound sophomore. Look at him come underneath the blocking right here. He comes backward behind the line of scrimmage, so that allows those offensive linemen to release downfield. So you say, well, those are linemen downfield. Well, no. Ball was thrown behind the line of scrimmage. Right. Those linemen get to get ahead of the ball. They were downfield on the tunnel screen. Nice pickup. Really nice third and manageable.
Third and 2, back in the I formation here. Give it away to Scott. First down. Right at about the midfield stripe.
We've seen Newman having a lot of success with that stretch play tonight, that lead stretch play where they'll put their fullback outside and they'll lock up the tight end on the outside linebacker. And they've been chewing up a ton of yardage outside on that. Again, Riverside's got to be a lot more forceful on that flank with those outside linebackers.
Scott now 99 yards on 11 carries.
Now, look, a lot of that has to do with the blocking of Will Randall now because that guy's doing a great job out there.
And they'll stay in the eye. We haven't seen a lot of that other than short yardage and goal line. Now we're seeing it on 1st and 10. And they'll go play action this time, and Manning's going to dial one up. That is incomplete in the direction of Johnson, but a couple of flags out there. This will almost certainly be defensive pass interference.
Well, they had man coverage again underneath. There's your interference call, which I think we'll get another look at it, and we'll see probably the defender all over A.J. Johnson trying to catch up. Oh, yeah, absolutely, right there. You're going to have to get your head around in order to get your eyes up to the ball, and that call was on number 8, Andre Murphy, the good wide receiver from Riverside. You got to get your head around. Your hands were all over him, but if you can get your head around, an official will let all that hand playing kind of go by the wayside.
So they'll put it down at the 35-yard line, officially a 14-yard penalty.
Well, a 14-yard penalty, it's supposed to be 15, and it's not an automatic first down anymore, only if the penalty will give it to you the first down by the yardage.
Yeah, and it did because it was 1st and 10.
Right, but 14 yards?
Yeah, the
Either
last
their
play.
math's wrong, but I will not bet that your math is wrong.
Now the last play, the ball was spotted at the 49-yard line. So give it away, Scott. Room to run near side. 25-20. 15-10 makes a man miss, and he is brought down right at the 10-yard line.
That's a counter tray play. They've been having a lot of success on the night, but I want to show everybody at home what's making this counter tray go. It's going to be the lead block on the outside linebacker. The lead puller, which is the tackle right there. There's nobody filling down inside from the linebacker position that should be filling that hole right there. You got the outside linebacker setting the edge, but there's no linebacker from inside stepping up into that hole to fill that thing, and they've been running to town all night with that.
Was that Randall, the tight end, that came over and pulled?
No,
it was the tackle?
That was the tackle. Randall was the seal.
No.
Back.
And they meet Scott in the backfield that time for a loss of 1.
You know, the outside linebacker on that play needs to make sure he gets turned inside, hoping his teammates get there to help out. But there's nobody getting there, and that's the problem with that outside counter play that Riverside is having.
Call it a loss of 2. 2nd and goal, the ball at the 12-yard line as we tick down towards the end of the third quarter. Newman knocking on the door here, trying to add to this 1-point lead. Manning will keep. Brought down inside the 10, about the 9.
Manning keeps the ball off the zone read right there. I don't know if that was actually a read rather than a design pull by Manning. He gets out on the flank. There's the pull right there. He's not even reading anything. A lot of red jerseys get there real fast. Almost a face mask by number 75 right there. I don't know if you could see that.
I saw it when it happened, yeah.
Logan Loving, senior defensive lineman, got his hand up around the face mask that the officials did not catch right there. And Manning, fighting to get extra yardage, goes down in a pile of red jerseys.
3 quarters in the books here in reserve. 12 minutes to go. And what's been a good one this evening, a battle of unbeatens. After 3, Newman 21, Riverside 20. Back with more after this. You are watching high school football from Crescent City Sports. What's been a good one thus far? From reserve, Lenny Van Gilder, Wade Kaiser with you. Chip Merritt, our producer. Matt Merritt bringing you all the pictures. Newman plays 3rd and goal at the 9. Manning lets one fly over the head of Johnson, incomplete, as he took a shot as he delivered that one, Wade.
Well, I don't know how much he was actually trying to complete that. I think he saw coverage and he just threw that thing away. But he was getting hit as he was throwing the football. Newman receivers well covered by Riverside that time in their secondary and man coverage, and Manning just let that thing sail. Newman looks like they're going to try to line up the field goal.
Yep. 26 yards on the attempt coming up here, and it's Kearney Neesett to give it a try. And Jack Revia, wide receiver, is the holder. Kick on the way, and it is good. And with 11:55, or check that, 11:50. Now they're letting it run again. I don't know. Here, the clock is just running here. 11. Somebody needs to stop it. Maybe they'll figure it out sooner or later here. Now they stop it with 11:39 remaining. See if they put time back on the clock. Anyhow, the kick is good from 26 yards. They put it back at 11:51. In the fourth quarter, your new score, Newman 24 and Riverside 20. That drive weighed 9 plays, covered 64 yards, and it took 4 minutes and 25 seconds, ending in the field goal by Neesett.
Very methodical, a nice drive. That's what they wanted to be able to do, was control, keeping that explosive Riverside offense on the sideline, and they did that. And that's what you've got to try to do, is try to burn some clock and come away with points, and they were successful in that.
Crescent City Sports Prep Football brought to you by Lamarck Ford and Kenner, now with an all-new 12-bay quick lane, servicing all makes and models for brakes, tires, oil changes, and more. Come see our remarkable deals and service. Stop by or go to Lamarck.com. Our thanks to Ronnie Lamarck and his team at Lamarck Ford for their support of high school football here at Crescent City Sports. Oh, pooch kick that time. Be taken in at the 30-yard line, and room to run down the sideline, as that was Raynaud on the return, or Raynaud, I should say, getting it. See where they spot the football.
There's two things with the pooch kick or a sky kick you've got to do, Lynn. First thing you got to do is you got to get it skied. You got to force them into some sort of fair catch. And then the second thing you got to do is you got to cover the thing. And the Newman Greenies did neither of those two, which is going to set up depending on if there's a penalty here, which we haven't got any preliminary signal, but that's going to set up great field position for Riverside.
Unsportsmanlike conduct against Riverside.
Well, then that's going to negate that huge return.
And this, I don't know if this has got to do with, there's been bench warnings both ways. The only thing that I could see is, did an official get run into when he was moving down the field?
We got a huge problem out there. He was going in the wrong direction.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So there we go. Now we'll mark it off from midfield.
Right. Oops. Yeah, it happens.
So wait, now they put it at the 40-yard line. They marked it from the 50, so now I'm completely confused as to what they just did.
They marked it off right. It's just that when he went 5 more yards.
Well, he marked it off from the 50, 15 yards to the 35, and then he went back 5 yards to the 40. So if it's from the 50, the ball should be at the 35-yard line.
That is correct.
And that's where he's going.
Right. So it should have been from the end of the play, and there's your 15 yards, and there's our math class for tonight.
There you go. So Riverside down 4. We'll play it from the 35-yard line. And room to run for the first time here in the second half. Elijah Davis finally broke one free.
Well, I think I said it on their last drive, right? I said they've got to get him going again, and here we go. Lead option. Good pitch, good read right there by Larvinen. Pitches it out. Nobody on the pitch, man. Should have been the strong safety from Newman. He's nowhere to be found. And a huge pickup right there by Elijah Davis running downhill. Look, when he gets his shoulder pads going north and south, he's something. I mean, he's a solid running back.
Now, Davis had 9 carries for 43 yards in the first quarter. In the second and third quarter, he had a combined 5 carries for 8 yards. So Newman did a good job on him there for the better part of 2 quarters, and then he finally breaks through. Carries that one on first down. Once again, it's Davis, a gain of 1. It's 2nd and 9.
Riverside's got to get back that physical game that they came in with in the first quarter of this ball game, where they were actually pounding that rock with Davis, and it looks like that's what might be the MO for this particular drive here starting the fourth quarter.
And flag. This will be offside against Newman. Now 2nd and 9 turns into 2nd and 4.
Second and 4. Nice time for a shot play right here. Try to take the top off the secondary maybe. Something of that nature.
So from the 34, Larvidan, it's a quarterback run all the way, and he's got room to run. 20, makes a man miss, trying to get to the far outside, turn the corner. 10, and he will slide down inside the 10 at the 9-yard line. Wow, is he explosive.
I'm speechless on the move he makes about 15 yards downfield. Let's watch it. Counter tray, this move, right there. Oh, my goodness. And then he slides into second base, and he's safe. How electrifying is this athlete?
80 yards tonight on the ground for Larvidan on 10 carries. He's also got 125 yards passing and a 3-yard catch, so he's accounted for 208 tonight. Just the fourth play of this drive. Larvidan will give it away. Trying to turn the corner is Murphy. Looked like that wasn't going anywhere, and he managed to get a gain of 2 out of it.
Well, something out of nothing, because it started with the bad snap at the feet of Larvidan. He picks it up, scoops it up, and gets it to his running back right there for a saved play. Andre Murphy at least picks up 2 out of it. But that could have been a disaster right there if that ball couldn't have been handled on the bad snap.
And Larvidan had the wherewithal not to kneel down trying to pick it up.
Absolutely.
That would have been a dead play right there with a loss. Coming down to the 9-minute mark here in the fourth quarter. This is all run, all Larvidan, and guess who? Will Randall in the backfield shuts it down.
Well, you got to block the guy. I mean, and nobody touched him. I mean, look, the guy's a great player. He does a great job, but let's see what happens right here. I think he comes through untouched. He's at the top of your film right there. Let's see what happens. It looks like quarterback run all the way. He's untouched by number 21 right there. It throws a no-hitter on Randall. Number 21 was Nick Washington, a senior fullback that doesn't get the kick-out block.
So it's third and goal at the 12-yard line. 3rd and goal at the 12. Larvidan keeps, got a couple, and now it's 4th and goal.
That time they run the lead option again as they ran it a couple minutes earlier. Great stop right there by Will Hardy, the 6', 205-pound senior linebacker, stays at home to make the play. Here he is scraping downhill, stays inside out right there, which is what you're supposed to do. Remember how I talked about how you've got to get the inside out pursuit and somebody builds a wall? Well, that was a nice job, a good example of it right there by the Newman defense.
On 4th and goal, they're going to go to Hemel at quarterback. Larvidan will line up at wide receiver, top of your screen. Still got 10 on the play clock, though. Hemel looking for Larvidan. Incomplete.
I think Hemel had a hand in his face, and he kind of threw that thing off balance and just threw it up for a grab.
Yeah, you had a combo route on that side with Murphy, number 8, just outside the frame of your picture, running a slant, and then the corner route coming by Larvidan, and it, like you said, just couldn't get it there.
Guess who was in his face? Number 87. Will Randall gets his hands up. He just abused the right tackle from Riverside right there again and got his hands up, and that forced Luke Hemel to have to throw the ball off balance. Newman could have possibly picked that thing off, and I don't think anybody would have caught somebody going down the boundary.
Exactly. You might have hit somebody with a long run down the far sideline. So Newman takes over on downs, 1st and 10, the ball at the 10-yard line. Manning would give it away on 1st down. I believe that's Pleasant back there. And not much running room.
That's a good job by that Riverside defense. They get to the ball right there. Looked like all 11 jerseys rallied right there and got to the running back and stacked it up. Nowhere to go inside. Great job by number 75, big Logan Loving, senior defensive lineman. We call his name once tonight. They have him lined up in there at the defensive tackle position.
Gain of a yard for Pleasant. It's 2nd and 9 at the 11. There's that screen again, and brought down at about the 16-yard line. That is A.J. Johnson's first catch tonight. Really haven't had a chance to talk about him. The McMain transfer is getting a ton of looks out there. That's his 19th catch of the year. He is the number 11 ranked player in the class of 2022, a four-star in his own right.
And you know who's lining up on him man-to-man all night? Mr. Larverdane.
3rd and 5. The line to make is the 20. Manning will sprint out this way. Got his man first down. Johnson guarded by Larverdane, and a nice job. Talk about this route here, Wade, because he's man on man, as you said, with their best player, and gets open. That's a heck of a play.
You can't do much with that. Larverdane's in great position right there, does great coverage, but A.J. Johnson gets the push and the separation. You got to honor his speed. So once he ends up planting that foot in the ground and breaking to the boundary, if the ball's delivered on time, you can't defend that. And as good a job as you can possibly do at all levels, that should be a completion every time between quarterback and receiver if you run the route right and the ball's thrown on time the right way. Great job by Manning. Great job by A.J. Johnson. Great job on the coverage by Larverdane. Just a good football play all the way around. It results in a first down. They were running 4 verticals, and then the vertical broke to the route out right there. And, you know, Larverdane's got to play that vertical. And like I said, great route, great throw, hard to defend.
The timeout for our hydration break, which comes at the 5:58 mark. And Newman with a big first down right there to get out of the shadow of the goalpost. And now at the 31-yard line.
Well, I mean, that throw kind of really shows what Manning can do and what he will only get better at doing as time goes on. College coaches will see that on film, and they will love that.
Give it away on first down. This is Scott with room to run. Midfield 40, 30. He is tripped up and finally brought down on about the 23-yard line. A gain of 46.
There's a counter tray again. Tackle pulling, tight end sealing through. We all know who the tight end is, number 87. There's the kick out block. There's the seal.
Randall
right
got a little bit of a body on Larverdane just to.
That's all you need. Just get a body, just get in the way, let your running back cut off you. You've got a big gain. Number 5 turns his shoulders, doesn't really do a good job setting the wall right there. You can't turn your shoulders like that. You want to take it inside out with your inside shoulder and set that wall as an outside linebacker. And he kind of gave up a huge hole right there for the running back.
Scott again trying to get to the edge. That time he gets held up trying to get there, and it's going to be brought down at about the 18-yard line, and we might have had a flag come in near the end of that play.
That's your outside stretch game. Look at Will Randall just destroy that edge. There's your flag right there late at the end.
Now, it looks like it's going to be against Riverside. It might have been a face mask in there. It's the only thing that wait for the signal from Benny Jones. They put it down at the 9-yard line. It's a personal foul face mask.
15 yards tacked on to the end of the play. That'll set up first and goal for the Greenies.
9-yard line. Scott tonight. Now, like I said, all these other guys that we talked about coming in. Scott tonight, 15 carries, 173 yards. Got it again here on first down, and might have lost a couple right there.
Cade Middleton from his safety position comes up and makes a nice play. Haven't talked about him much tonight. He's a fine athlete back there. Another sophomore, 5'10", 160 pounds. Watch him come up, wrap up, and tackle low. That's the way you tackle a good running back right there. Cade Middleton's a fine defensive back. Comes in with 17 tackles and an interception on the year. He just we haven't called his name much tonight because, you know, he's a lot of man coverage.
So Newman trying to milk the clock a little bit here. A touchdown puts you in real good shape. A field goal, and it's only a 7-point game. Manning on 2nd and goal. will move the pocket, lets it fly out of the back of the end zone, incomplete.
Another fine decision by Manning. Nothing open, looks around, he evades the rush, keeps the play alive, keeps his eyes down the field, watch him evade the rush. Not open there, he goes to his second receiver. Everything's covered, let me just sail this thing out of here. I don't want to do something stupid and lose this positioning for either a field goal or a possible touchdown.
Yep, live to play another down.
Right,
3rd and goal at the 11. Here's a big play in this game right here. Riverside can get a stop, hold Newman to a field goal. Or can Manning find somebody? 4 receivers. He'll roll left. He's going to put it down. He's going to run, and he's going to get in the end zone for his 3rd rushing touchdown of the night.
Nobody account for the running quarterback. They lose contain out on the edge with the outside linebacker. They had everything covered. It was a go and an out route out on the edge. It's covered well. Manning doesn't force the ball. He just tucks it to pick up whatever he can, and nobody's there. He walks into the end zone. They lose contain, Riverside that is, on their right-hand side of their defense. Nobody to account for Manning as he scores a huge touchdown and makes it a 2-point game, a 2-score game.
Point after try is good by Neesett, and with 4:16 remaining in this one, your new score. Newman 31, Riverside 20. Wait, let's take another look at the touchdown run.
Look at the routes up top. Great job by Riverside on their man coverage. Here comes the out and the go. He's looking for, it looks like, in the back of the end zone.
That might have been, he had Donaldson in the corner of the end zone, but by that point he had made a decision. Once the routes unfolded and he saw no one in front of him, he made a decision. I'm going to take this myself.
He was looking for Donaldson in the corner of the end zone on the fade or the go route right there. Everything's covered, even the low route. It was a high-low read, and it was covered. What do I do? Tuck it, run, don't fumble the football. Nobody's going to challenge me. He scores. Where the problem comes defensively is you got to have contain, you got to set the edge, and that has not happened all night for Riverside's defense.
They just reset the clock. Was it 4:18? Just reset it to 4:26, so putting 8 seconds back on the clock. But some clock issues throughout the evening.
Well, you know, the big thing so far, and I'm sure we'll talk about this later, but I mean, and we've got 4:26 left to go in the game, and by no means the way Riverside can move the football is out of this thing. But is the running game of Newman and what they've done here so far tonight with their running game.
Kick will roll out of bounds, and a flag is down. Let's see what Riverside chooses to do. They'll send the offense out on the field, it looks like.
Their choice is 35-yard line or kick it over again.
I think you take it at the 35. I see one of the issues, I don't know if the clock operator is just unaware. Clock does not start on a kick until the ball is fielded. And they're running the clock as soon as toe meets leather, and that's not what you're supposed to do. So now Riverside will begin this drive from the 35, and 6 seconds ran off the clock. So from the 35, now we get Hemel back at quarterback here. This is a jet sweep, looked like a pass. Murphy will now try to run with it, and still on his feet, finally brought down at about the 39 to 40 yard line. That's a lot of work for a gain of about 4.
Well, they do run the jet sweep, but he pulls up to throw the ball. Everything's covered by Newman. He turns and reverses the field. Hemel lays a great block for him to spring him out of the way. Watch the block by Hemel here as he reverses field. That's what I love, a blocking quarterback. Great job by this Hemel right there.
Screen pass taken in by Davis. Gets out past the 45 for the first down.
Got to have a little bit more sense of urgency now if you're on the Riverside offense. You got to get that ball moving a lot quicker. You got to pick up your tempo a little bit. You got to get that call in just a little bit faster. You do have all 3 of your timeouts.
3:36 to play. Play action. Shot down the middle, caught. Murphy, room to run. 25, 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown.
Murphy finds a
52
hole.
yards.
Murphy finds a hole in the middle of that 3D secondary again. It's been there all night. Underneath the safety, sits right in the square in area, and the ball's delivered on time by Hemail. I tell you what, a great night by Murphy. Murphy has caught some great balls tonight in big situations. He's going to add to that number coming into the game, a whopping 19.8 every time he touches the ball.
Yeah,
I bet you after tonight, that number's going to go up much more.
It's going up right now. 3 catches, 105 yards for Murphy and that touchdown.
If you're going to play a 3-deep coverage, then what you've got to be able to do is break on the ball when the ball is thrown. Newman does not break on that ball. They just let the receiver catch the ball in the hole.
Larvadan at quarterback, and that is snuffed out quickly by the Newman defense. That was Will Hardy and Evan Ploche combining to stop that play.
Newman ran that for 2 points last time. Here comes a great look at the touchdown. I'll come back to the 2-point conversion in a second. You'll see Newman still playing soft up top in a 3-deep look. Here comes the square in right in front of the free safety, and a move is put on the free safety, and it's off to the races. Let's the pictures talk the rest of the play.
And there were 4 Newman guys surrounding him, and he just made a move and got away from him.
But the problem was the free safety lets him catch that football. He's got to break on that ball when it's thrown.
Okay, now, if you're Kevin Dizer here, 3:24 left, you've got all 3 timeouts. Do you kick it deep or do you onside kick?
I kick it deep, and I tell my defense, if you've ever made a stop in your life, this is the time you've got to make a stop. Because if you don't make a stop, then it's elementary. All right? I'm putting my trust in you. I'm going deep. We've got to cover this thing, and then we've got to get a 3-and-out defense, and we've got to get the ball back because, I mean, it's proven we can score from anywhere in the field at any time. Kick the ball deep.
Well, Newman is expecting an onside kick. They've got 2 men deep, but they've got 9 men up front between the 45 and the 50-yard line.
Well, if you're Newman, you've got to expect the onside, but you've got to also treat those guys in the back there. They've got to know what to do if the ball is kicked to them. The first thing they've got to do is, of course, recover the ball. Second thing they've got to do is protect it because there's really not much blocking going on a hands team.
And the onside kick is coming, and it is covered at the 45-yard line. On the back row there, that was Sam Milvid, the junior wide receiver, who covered it.
Here's your onside right here. Ball does go 10 yards. Great job by the hands team from Newman to fall on it, and they're going to start with a great field position right here. Riverside has 3 timeouts to stop it. They're going to have to use them immediately to get this ball back.
So from the 45, again, Riverside's got all 3 timeouts. You got to find a way to
I think you're going to see, right. You're going to see a huge dose of Sterling Scott and Pleasant.
And well defended right there as Scott is brought down for a loss of 1.
It was a great job by Nick Washington. The defensive lineman comes in with 21 tackles on the night. He gets penetration. The 6'2", 250-pound senior right there, bang, wraps him up and brings him to the ground. Riverside uses one of their time. No, they did not use one of their timeouts.
Letting it run.
They're letting it run.
Now, 2nd and 11. And now, a timeout. I think they were slow starting the play clock there, Wade. All right, our first play started at 3:21. You had the play, then you should have started the 40-second clock. There's 2:32 left on the clock, and there were 23 seconds on the play clock. So you had a clock issue of some kind there.
Well, I don't know if it's the finger of the official on the clock or if it's the clock apparatus itself, but they've had problems with this all night, and what this does is this just puts speculation in the minds of both coaches that I'm getting messed over with the time issue, and every second counts. So they're going to have to reset that play clock.
Let's see what they're going to do here. Benny Jones talked to Kevin Dizer. Now he's going over to talk to Nelson Stewart, explain the situation.
No, I don't want to go have that conversation. All right. You know, the deal for Coach Dizer and the Riverside Rebels, this is a win for him. Stops his clock free of charge. I call the clock timeout right after the tackle.
Like you say, with the guys that are playing two ways, especially a guy like Larvadan, now you got a free timeout to let him get a rest here.
Catch his breath, correct.
So the clock stays at 2:32 now. Now wait, now hold everything. They're going to put time back on the clock here. Now it says 2:42. You can see it changing on your screen there.
Okay. Looks like we're playing with 2:42.
So let's see. Are we winding the clock here? Yep, we're winding the clock. So when this is all said and done, this is about a minute between snaps. This is a win for Newman right here. Manning, that was a little RPO there. He will run out of bounds, and that was the Newman players looking for a flag there, but the clock stops with 2:22 to play. And that's one thing Archie's got to learn to do right there is he's got to slide before he takes on that defender.
Well, he's got to learn how to do that. He doesn't want to take that shot on the boundary. And the next thing he didn't want to do is he didn't want to run out of bounds. He needed to slide down and make Riverside waste one of their timeouts.
So 3rd and 6 at the 49-yard line. Manning steps up and is brought down from behind. There's a flag in the secondary, 2 of them. And we may have defensive holding here, which would be a first down.
I don't know if it's defensive holding or some sort of personal foul, because both of those flags came out by 2 officials on an issue. Things are getting kind of chippy down there. My question is, why do you throw the ball here?
No. 3rd and 6, you're looking to convert, and it's...
I think you give a nice dosage of Sterling Scott.
It is defensive holding against Riverside.
Oh, my goodness. That's going to be tacked on from the previous spot. That's going to be 15 yards. It's not automatic, 10. But it will give...
defensive should be 10, right? 10 is 10, as opposed to pass interference.
Excuse me. It will be 10 yards, and it will be a first down. Not automatic, though. That's a big penalty. Still, you run the ball there. You force a timeout.
Well, Riverside still has all 3 timeouts remaining.
Right,
here.
exactly.
And there's 2:13 on the clock.
2 big plays right there that would have helped Newman without the flag would have been Manning stay in bounds on the boundary, and you run the ball right there. It would have probably wasted 2 of Riverside's timeouts.
Manning under center. There's that counter tray again. Scott gets about 2. And it's should have been a Riverside timeout. Indeed it is with 2:07 to play.
Well, there's a counter tray that we've been seeing all night. Here's your replay. Down, kick out. And a seal. Riverside does a nice job defending it that time.
Yeah, Bobby Wells coming from the backside to make the play there. The gain of 2, second down and a 2:07 remaining in this one. A Newman first down could just about do it.
I want to go back to 1, 2, 3 plays prior when Manning got hit on the boundary. What he's going to have to learn as a sophomore, number one, not to take the hit, Lenny, but number two is he goes feet first and stays inbounds. That does two things for the Newman offense right there. It either forces Riverside to use one of their timeouts, and now they would be down to one left. All right.
Or it runs another 40 seconds off.
Or runs another 40 seconds off the clock, and this clock would be down under 2 minutes. Those are those things that he will be taught, that he will learn, and he's going to have to learn to navigate as he continues on as a high school quarterback and then on into college.
2nd and 8 at the 39. Split backs behind Manning. Two receivers to the top. Give it away to Scott. Room to run, 35, 30. First down, Newman. Sterling Scott has been the man this evening. 186 yards rushing now.
Let me tell you who's the man this evening for Newman. Watch number 87 at the top of the screen. He is eating people alive tonight. That time, who got ate alive was outside linebacker Shamar Jackson. I mean, I can't say enough about the blocking of 87 tonight and how he's been getting that running game going on the flank for Newman. Sterling Scott was the recipient of a great block out there by Will Randall. Those running backs out there need to buy him a steak this week.
That is now 263 yards rushing for Newman tonight.
Again, that's been
58 passing.
That's been the difference is the running game. I mean, no doubt about it. Everybody would have thought Manning's going to light it up. Riverside playing man coverage on all their receivers and done a great job at it. But you think they're going to throw the ball more? What do? They go to the running game.
If I'd have told you tonight one team would have 58 yards passing and the other team would have 250. You would have said the team in green and white would have the 250.
Exactly.
Give it away on first down, and Riverside will probably use its final timeout here after that 5-yard gain by Scott. Well, they've got one. Maybe, the scoreboard says they have one remaining.
Newman is just going to run this thing all the way down. They'll snap the ball with under 4 seconds left on the play clock. Riverside elects not to use their one timeout, and you're going to probably get a dosage of either Plaisant or you're going to get a dosage of Sterling Scott.
Pleasant and Scott had come into the first 4 games with a combined 302 yards rushing. Scott gets it there, and it's a timeout. Riverside. This is very close to the first down. I don't know if they're moving the sticks. Yeah, they have moved the sticks. It's a first down. So with 104 left and Riverside out of timeouts, now it's victory formation. 197 yards rushing for Sterling Scott.
That was the difference tonight, no doubt about it, for the Newman Greenies. I mean,
so two knees now should be enough to preserve this 31-26 Newman victory, and the Greenies would go to 5-0 on the season with a huge one awaiting them next week at Lupin Field against St. Charles Catholic, Wade.
It doesn't get any easier.
Now, we saw St. Charles a week ago against De La Salle, and look, I would say De La Salle, any class, is probably one of the 10 best teams in the state right now. Yeah, they're number 1 in 3A. They would be one of the 10 best teams in the state overall. Not higher than that. So Manning takes a knee. So much we've seen of this now. They take a knee out of the shotgun.
Well, I haven't seen them go under center all night tonight. I mean,
Yeah.
that's what they do. I mean, it's in 2020, it's a different football game.
Yep.
Everybody loves the shotgun game, you know.
So one more snap should just about do it.
You know, you can't take anything away from Riverside tonight. I mean, offensively, they were electrifying. I mean, with the athletes that they have, and I think they found a really nice jewel in Elijah Davis, who lit the thing up last week against Southern Lab and really did a great job tonight for the Riverside Rebels. These guys played hard. Newman had a little bit more in the tank tonight than Riverside.
They've let this clock run down far enough now with the play clock. They almost don't have to snap the football. They let it run out. And that's your ball game. Of course, in this day of COVID-19, it's some waves and some acknowledgments across the way. No more handshake lines.
Right.
31-26, your final here tonight. Wade, your thought on what we saw here this evening, what you expected and what we actually saw?
Well, I think it gets into what we were talking about within the last minute and a half, is how the Newman running game just took over tonight and really shined for the Greenies. I mean, coming in, you think Arch Manning or at least try to, or will light the ball, the sky up, throwing the football, and what do? They give the ball to Sterling Scott, who was Sterling tonight.
No doubt. Lived up to his name, no doubt.
And that offensive line led by tight end Will Randall, who was, I think, one of my most valuable players of the evening. Did a great job just pounding the ball on the ground against this Riverside defense.
And was a difference maker on defense as well. And those are two guys who play both ways. So extraordinary performances out of both of them. Again, Newman 5-0 on the year. Next up for them, home against St. Charles Catholic in a huge one next Friday night. Riverside has St. Martin's on the road next Friday night. They are now 4-1. Wade, it's been a pleasure. It was a lot of fun here this evening, and it lived up to what we expected.
Yeah, great football game. Some outstanding athletic talent on the field by both teams, and they've got great things going on for them the rest of the season. It's going to be fun watching these two teams as they, I think, in my opinion, head into the playoffs for both Division 3 and 4.
Wade, thanks. Our thanks to Chip Merritt. Our thanks to Matt Merritt. Once again, your final score, Newman 31, Riverside 26. For everyone, I'm Lenny Van Gilder. We will see you next week. Next Friday, another game. Watch at Crescent City Sports. We'll announce what that's going to be early next week. Tomorrow, 12:45 airtime, 1 o'clock kick. We'll have Rummel and Holy Cross from John L. Guidry Stadium in Thibodeau. Ken Trahan will have the call on that one. Until then, so long, everybody.